Okay. While we're waiting for Sheikh, I will just reiterate a few things for those of you who have never attended a webinar or a live stream on Telegram. You'll notice that everybody is muted, but there's an option to raise your hand to ask a question. Sheikh is going to start the session with a presentation, and then once he finishes, we'll have some time for question and answer. If you want to ask a question, we ask that you raise your hand during the Q&A session, inshallah. And sometimes what happens is you might raise your hand, but then after a while it goes down. So just keep checking that your hand is raised. Worst comes to worst, you can always leave a message in the chat to say, hey, my hand is raised. Can you please call on me next or something like that? Because like I said, sometimes it happens that you raise your hand and then it disappears for some reason. But that will be at the end of the call, inshallah. We will be prioritizing voice questions on the call, live on the call, as opposed to anything written in the chat. So you might have posted a question earlier today. We might have told you, please ask this in the webinar. We don't mean type it in the chat. We mean raise your hand, please, and ask it here, because that's what we're going to be prioritizing. It's not an audio-only call. I see some people are saying there's no video. No, Sheikh will be on video, and he will be sharing his screen, inshallah, to show you the presentation that we have prepared. As soon as he's ready, Sheikh, are you ready to get started? I see that he's here, but he might be getting set up.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa barakatuh. Whenever you're ready, if you want to take over.
All right. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barak ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Everybody, good evening to all the folks who are in the UK and Europe, and those folks who are joining us from stateside on Eastern time. I know that it's in the afternoon, but you guys will be catching this recording, and then that will, you know what I found actually is that the recorded version is so much better than the live version. It's crazy how good this Telegram broadcast system is. The way that it, shows people's names at the bottom and shows the video and everything. So anyway, we'll just give it a minute. Should we? No, it's actually 5 minutes in. So I don't think that we should wait around anymore. I know it's a working day as well. But I hope that you can hear me well, and I hope that you can see me clearly. We're going to do a few things today, inshallah. Going to focus on some general strategy, some general advice when it comes to the various packages and programs that are available. And then we're going to have a look at the Nusuk portal specifically. So we're going to then go in live and show you some of the things to expect over the next 1-2 weeks, but also show you some of the things to expect when Nusuk goes live and what will be different. So that's going to be important as well. And then we'll speak a little bit about then the details and facts about our program, which alhamdulillah has been finalized, or most of the details have been finalized, and I'll be able to present all of the things that you guys have been waiting for before it goes on to Nusuk, so you don't need to wait in terms of planning and the like. So that's what and then at the end there'll be a Q&A session. Obviously, for those folks that are working early tomorrow and need to sign out, then you can do that. And then in the next couple of hours, tomorrow, whenever you get to the recording we posted tonight, then you can just skip straight to the middle part and listen to the Q&A, because there will definitely be some very useful stuff in the Q&A, both because I want to leave a few things to then, but also because people always ask the best questions in an educated environment. This, of course, is a very educated environment. Most of the folks that are in this particular webinar are here because they've been on our channel, which, as you know, is all about keeping folks updated. The chat is open, not specific hours, but all the time. So there's been very little restriction in terms of knowledge flow. And so that makes everyone who comes through these kind of channels or platform quite on it. But that does not mean that there's such a thing as a stupid question, or I'm sorry to ask this. You shouldn't be sorry. Don't waste my time and your time saying that I'm sorry. Jump straight to your question. There'll be many people that will be benefiting and will be appreciating and nodding away when you ask your question. Remember that, always, never such a thing as a silly question. So with that said, let's jump into this presentation. And as you can imagine, I am not great at this kind of stuff, but I'm thinking that you can see on screen. With that, we're good? We're good?
Yep.
So, ultimate strategy. You know what, I should have said part 1, because there's no doubt there's going to be part 2, part 3 when people start to get, you know, itchy fingers and, you know, things start to get real in a couple of weeks' time and more programs come and prices, whatever, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, let's jump straight in. So what we're going to speak about, and I know folks that will have joined us for the very first webinar. We've done 4 or 5, I think, webinars, and they've all kind of focused on different things. And the first one was going into quite a bit of detail. Don't worry, we're not going to be covering all of that here. But I just want you to consider that this is strategy, okay? And so what's really important right now, by the way, with that, am I in the top corner, or am I needing to come out if I want to speak at length?
I can see you in the top corner.
Right, okay, all right. So these are ultimately the factors that you need to consider when it comes to making your decision. And some of these are stronger than others, meaning in terms of importance. The package duration, a lot of people think is important. It's not for 98% maybe of people. 2% of people, maybe a surgeon that has used their holiday and they've got a massive waiting list that they have to get back to. Maybe someone like that has to do 10 days or 12 days. Listen, I'm going to be answering questions based upon my experience. I don't ever want you to think I'm coming across as patronizing. And I know that there are people who are older than me in this gathering and probably more experienced and knowledgeable than I am. And I want to apologize to you folks in advance. I cannot every single time always keep weighing up the goods, the bads, the pros and cons. Otherwise, we'll be here for ages. By the way, I'm very qualified to do so because I've done all of the different options. I've done a 10-day package. I've done a 40-day package. I've done Makkah first and then Medina first. I can tell you with my eyes closed over the next 2 hours all of the pros and cons about absolutely everything when it comes to, you know, various aspects and the like. That's not the challenge here. The challenge is in the time that we've got, how much am I going to keep trying to G up the other side? No, I'm going to tell you straight as it is from my experience, after having experienced everything, both sides, and then put it forward what I think is my anecdotal findings and my statistical findings. So far, a lot of people praising Hajj with the EE team, so organized, so professional, so blah, 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 blah. It's not difficult. You know, when you have data over years and years and you collect that data, you can analyze it and you can come up with some very, very accurate and very easy observations. Like, for example, you've heard so far that the Majar al-Kabsh programs, what's known as the VIP, the more expensive ones, the ones that are closer to the Jamarat or right next to the Jamarat actually, are going to go out very quickly, as you can see in the Mina camp. This is not a guess. This is something that we've seen. The West has a lot of money and Muslims have a lot of money and they're willing to pay for what they perceive to be an easier Hajj. And a person would say, is it easier? Well, I'd say it is easier if a person doesn't want to walk the 45 minutes Jamarat walk on the 2 or 3 times that they're going to make that walk. And if they're willing to pay £2,000-3,000 extra or X thousand pounds extra for that, then I guess it is easier. And if you've got the money, and for you, Hajj is all about ease or not ease, and you've got it in that paradigm, then of course it's going to sell out very quickly. And time and history and the last 15 years has shown that they are very popular because, as I said, Muslims have a lot of money. The vast majority of the Muslims will not obviously be in the VIP tents. When we do our walk, you're going to see we're going to walk past those VIP tents, that area. It's a tiny portion. And then the rest of Mina is like 2.8 million people. And there are, and it's not necessarily, as I'm going to show in a map, it's not necessarily that the furthest are the worst. That's the irony. So I just want you to know that there are people who think things are important, but actually are they? Duration is another one. All the time, kids, this, that, whatever, I can't leave them behind, I've got this. what is important to you. If there will come different times in your life when you're on a holiday or you're away, and some things will happen, and you'll make a decision: I can extend, or I've got to cut down. I want to say to you that for your Hajj program, honestly, please do not make and I know people are going to say that's insulting when I say irrelevant. Take it the way I intended. It's irrelevant in the bigger picture. If I said it's about Allah, then everything is irrelevant to Allah, and I'm not going to apologize for that. But I do understand that people will see that he's taking my job as meaningless, or my kids. No, I don't attack your kids and how much you love them and your job importance. But I do believe that people make this decision, they regret it afterwards, especially when they find out that the others did it properly. That's all I'm saying. And so I want to say, people who are choosing the nearest airport, do you fly out my nearest airport? If not, then I'm not going. That it's got to be 12 days. It's got to be 14 days. I can't do 20 days. I can't do 18 days. I can't do 15 days. That's honestly the wrong attitude around it. Choose the best program. Choose the one that your teacher is with you, one that you can hold accountable. People that you've been with all your life, that you know. You might have a friend who is a travel agent that is now part of this whole kind of system, and you know that they would never do you over. Go for the real things. Go for loyalty. Go for reviews that people have told you. Do not, please do not make a silly mistake that I have to be in a double, or I have to be in a triple and I cannot handle being in a quad, because even though I'm willing to share in a triple, but one extra person in the bed is just going to take me over the edge, right? They're not going to take you over the edge. Just be flexible. And by the way, it might be that you need to get out of your triple, pay another 300 pounds, 400 pounds, and go into a double, for example. And so I want you to know that these factors are not important. Shifting and non-shifting is another one of these. And so let's just move to this slide for me to explain some of these things. So I want you to look at this area here, all right? This is all of Mina. All of this is Mina. And I want you to imagine that when you've got this, let me see if I can, yeah. So this area is the Jamarat, and roughly around here is where the VIP tents are. Say it takes about 15 minutes or something like that to walk from here to there. 15 minutes, and it's right here. Now, I want you to know that the irony is that the rest of Europe is going to be around here, okay? Actually, no, sorry. It's going to be around here, and it's going to take us 45 minutes. And yet, if you measure the distance, if that's 15 minutes, this should be an hour and a half if you look at it from a, one of those distance point of views. But this is why it's experience that counts and not what you're looking at or what you're reading. You've got to understand. So I want you to imagine, why is it 15 minutes from here? Because you have to cut across the camp and the people and go across routes and stuff to enter into the Jamarat arena. There'll be people that are here in Mina and here in Mina and here in Mina, and it will take them an hour or an hour and a half to get to here, or an hour and 15 to get to here. If you remember about, I don't know how many years ago it was now, the Iranian crush where all the people died, they died here in the middle of Mina when they came to a crossroads that became so packed that these people came from this way, these people came from that way, these people came from that way, massive crush. I'm pretty sure it was Iranian pilgrims. I don't know how many hundreds died, and they died in a crush inside Mina. And that's not 50 years ago, 30 years ago. It's only like 8 years ago or 10 years ago. So to get through the Mina tents, you might be thinking that if this is the most expensive, then that's the next expensive, and that's the next expensive. That's not the case. Actually, Bangladesh is, for example, here, Nigeria is here, Pakistan is here. And in this region here, which is almost the furthest away from a distance point of view from the Jamarat. So look at now, you can see physically, right? It's miles away, right? I want to say like 4 kilometers away. We're here. But if you look at the standard of our tents this year, and you would have seen people that be reporting back from 2018, 2019, pre-COVID, about the conditions of the toilets here and the like. I can tell you right now that last year, and the thing, guys, is that I can say statements and they can all be backed up, because you have the people who went last year in our channel, in our group, and the year before. Last year, the quality of the tents was the same as the VIP tents used to be a couple of years ago. It's crazy, the upgraded level of the tents. And by the way, we have Al-Rajahi to thank for that. Al-Rajahi, that's also a Hajj company like Al-Bayt this year. They're a huge banking organization for those who know and heard of the name. And they took out the contract to service this tent. You might have heard that Al-Bayt won the contract this year to service. You know, these companies, you know, obviously we're Pax in the West. We don't know who anybody is. But these Saudi companies, I think I might have told you in one of the previous webinars, when the Saudi government, the Hajj ministry, decide who do we give these contracts to run Hajj services, they put a number of conditions out. They've got to have experience. They've got to have staff. They've got to have, you know, skin in the game. They've also got to have $1 billion in assets, like cleared assets in case of catastrophe, in case you've got to build new things. You've got to, it's crazy money, crazy levels. These people build hotels and cities and things like that. So when you see this entire Majar al-Kabsh, this year, it's been given to Al-Bayt to build the whole thing. New toilets, new this, new rooms, new whatever. And they're going to throw the absolute kitchen sink at it. They're going to try to make this the most luxurious thing ever. Now, you can pay through your years to be there, but that's just as an example. Here, Al-Rajahi has had the contract. Al-Rajahi, trillions, obviously, in assets. It's actually the bank that you're going to be paying to the e-wallet, you know, the one that's giving all the problems so far, but it's the biggest banking organization there. They're the ones that run this camp here, all right? Listen, we're not with Rajahi. You cut us when it comes to Hajj, and we bleed Al-Bayt. But boy, have they done an unbelievable job. And hats off to them, right? They are not within our family. They're not our provider that we're using, but they did an incredible job in Mina. And so that's one thing to know, that it's not about distance. But secondly, here's a key thing. You're looking at this map here and you're thinking, right, I'm going to have to go down this road here, down that road there, cross that there, and that whatever. That will take you 2 hours, 1.5 hours to do that walk. And you'll see that, by the way. Sometimes some of you might make that decision to walk through. However, what this map doesn't tell you is that there's a road tunnel that has been made right through this mountain that goes all the way like this, and then it goes down into here like that. Because of that, it takes you straight into the Jamarat, 45 minutes, bam. Not just 45 minutes, but a buzzing 45 minutes. And you would have seen in the videos, you would have seen in our channel, for example, some of the footage. And it doesn't matter what country you're from, the vibe that happens on that walk to the Jamarat, the unity, the absolute scenes is just mashallah. So I want you to know that you may be thinking, man, it's a catastrophe being in the Mina tents. Well, I'll tell you another thing. When you spend the night in the days of Hajj, so obviously the ninth is going to be here in Arafah. Then you're going to come over to Muzdalifah and you're going to spend the night here. A lot of people will be thinking, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go on a bus, this, that, whatever. Do you realize how these roads that all come out, they're all going to be converted to pedestrian walking areas, and only a couple are going to be saved for the buses. So they can't move. Therefore, they take 4 or 5 hours. Do you think in the morning you're going to wait here for 4 or 5 hours? No, you're not. So therefore, all of us, young, old, everybody, 2-3 million. And when you're ever looking at the BBC News or ITV News on the day of Eid, I want you to imagine when you're at home and you've just come back from the Eid prayer and you put the TV on and it's showing the news. What do they show? They show that scene, the Saudi helicopters showing all of the ifada. ثُمَّ أَفِيضُوا, as Allah says in the Quran, flow as the people flow. And that massive flow occurs on this morning when they all walk from Muzdalifah all the way. Walk. Because no point getting in trains and no point getting in. And there is a train here, by the way. There's a train here, which I'm going to tell you now is the worst experience ever. But, don't tell anybody else that's in Majar al-Kabsh, but just keep that to yourselves. And the buses and all the rest of it. People are like, you know what? I'd rather walk. And you see all of the folks walking. Now, I want you to think about it. If you've just slept here, and you need to now walk all the way down there or get all the way down there, that's maybe a 2-hour walk, possibly a 2 hours walk, right? You're going to not have had much sleep, and you're going to walk all the way there to go and stone, and then make a decision of whether you're going to stop in your Azizia tent or you're going to carry on to Mecca to do your big Hajj tawaf and so on. If you're in a non-shifting program, you're not stopping anywhere. So if you're here, you're going to have to go all the way there, and then you're going to have to go all the way there until you get to your hotel there. Now, if you're in a shifting program, suddenly the whole game's changed. Everyone's cussing shifting. Oh, what am I going to do? Shifting? Shifting's cheap. Shifting's nasty. Shifting's this. Well, shifting ain't, and it's so bad now when you realize that you go there and then take a little cheeky move there and stop at your place, have a shower, get ready, change your clothes, and then go to a haram in your own time. Have a little sleep, whatever. Everything has a pro and a con. Strategy is everything when it comes to understanding the Hajj game. And so I just want you to realize, likewise, if you're here and you are in Mu'aysim camp, to walk from here, and this is on the edge. So if you look at this Mina, this is on the edge. In about 30 minutes, you can walk to your tent, get inside, recover, stop, take toilet, there's that, blah, blah, blah. We'll speak about the toilets of Muzdalifah later. Certainly ain't the toilets in Mina, I'll tell you that much. You get your rest, off you go there, get your rest, here, go. There's so many things to be said about these programs. Shifting, non-shifting, people are obsessed with it. Go with the people that you trust the most. Go with what the reviews are telling you the most. Go with your teachers. Go with those that you know are going to be with you all the way, that have got strategy for you. That is what I would like to say about the landscape. Now, I think that I don't, you know what, if there's still people that are confused about anything on this, I think we'll do it in the Q&A, because I don't believe people want to know anything more about this now, but they might. No, let's leave that. Right. The next thing, let's talk about the e-wallet now. Folks, I hate to say I told you so, but I have to say that I told you so. But it wasn't just me that told you so, and it wasn't just my team that told you so, but even Al-Bayt and most partners were telling you so. Then the floodgates opened, and then maybe some of the partners then started to kind of waver and then started to feel the pressure, and the people are saying, why are you not telling us, and blah, blah, blah. And they wilted, and then they said, okay, well, if you're going to go and then do it, and then do it. I don't care about you, and I don't care about pressure, and I have a responsibility to you. I don't give you what you want. I give you what you need. So despite everyone saying the same to me, I was like, guys, speak to the hand. Don't touch the e-wallet. Until I tell you, don't touch the e-wallet. Now, I'm actually grateful that a few of our group did, because they found out some useful information. But the point is that you don't need to be the one that suffers. You don't need to be the one that's now paid money via Revolut and now suffering a catastrophe because it's stuck. Not only is it stuck, we don't know where it's stuck. So I've been speaking to all these people who are complaining to me, why did you? What? I'm the one who told you don't make the payment. I said to you, give it a few days so that we understand all the issues. And I'm not going to upset people and show you the clips. I'm not going to show you where I said where, and I said there's gremlins in the system and they're changing things every time. So one day you go in and play around, and then the next day it's got new features, and the next day it's got new features, and everything that you think you learned, and you're going to go and now tell other folks, actually the whole system's changed. You then, it looks a bit weird then what you're trying to say. And you will remember from the very beginning, I put Revolut at the end of my list. I said Starling is the absolute one to focus on. Then I said Monzo. I said, if you have Revolut, you can use it. And I'm still going to tell you, don't throw your Revolut away, but it is important to trust us. Now, is it the time now to start considering? I'll tell you now that I think it's okay now to start using the e-wallet, okay? If it's me, I'm still waiting for another day or two. I can tell you now that you've got so long. What's the date right now? You've got at least 2 weeks. If we stick to the live date of the, so I was saying that the problems with the banks, there's going to be more that are going to come out. There's going to be problems with Nusuk. By the way, the problem with the Revolut accounts that have been, the payments that have got lost, is half Revolut's fault, half Nusuk's fault. It's never just one person's or one entity's fault. And that's why we wait. That's why we assess. That's why so I hope that you will just follow our advice. Now, the question is that, so are you saying it's time to go? Can we do it? I would still wait a little while. I would wait, but I don't have a major problem of starting right now. I'm pretty confident with our facts, and especially as I'm going to be able to give you some rough idea of prices in this call as well. So what are the factors to investigate in which cards to use? I've been saying this for a long time, but there are new people in this call, so we're going to make sure. But I've kept it consistent. I have told you that my favorite was Starling for the UK, and that I'm a Monzo fan as well, and that Chase Bank has a very good product, and Revolut still is not off the list. We're still happy to go with Revolut as well. For the USA and Canada, there is such a variety, because they don't have the fintech banks, these kind of digital banks that give such great, options, because they don't charge fees, they give the best rates. They're very, very accountable on the app, and they're easy to get hold of. And the Canada and US ones, they're focusing more on the bricks and mortar, old style legacy banks. And so you know, they don't feel the threat of having to change their fees, reduce their fees as much, like what's been happening in the UK. Now, Santander, HSBC Global, they've had to up their game, remove fees and things. So it's been a good result. In America and Canada, you've got to do a lot of research. We do think that USA, a load of different ones that you're going to have to be comfortable with. Unfortunately, most are credit card based, which I really hate, and you're going to end up paying a fee. But I've said before, that fee in the previous webinar, which was a big focus on this, that the fee is worth it in order to avoid the stress of a bank transfer. Trust me. I know it's crazy that the percentage is a lot, 1%, 3%, but honestly, a bank transfer is so much out of your control with such a significant sum of money, because you're not going to do bank transfers for $2,000 each time, are you? Because it's a transaction fee each time that you do it, because it's an international bank transfer, SWIFT transfer. And so therefore, you're going to want to spend the whole $15,000. And that, you know, if that gets lost, what do you do? And that's what happened to so many people in 2023 and to a few people in 2024 as well. So make sure you do the right thing. In Canada, we're pretty comfortable with Wise and some of those options that you can see on the left there. But these are the considerations when you're investigating what's giving you the best foreign exchange rate. As we said, American is set at 3.75. They can't mess around with that. But Canada, you need to do research. And the UK, you need to do research. You're always looking to get better than the 4.62, 4.68, trying to look for good figures. Those that have the lowest fees, the UK ones have no fees, so you're all sorted with those four that I just mentioned. But your normal banks, HSBC, Santander, Halifax, NatWest, they will have fees. Keep an eye on that. Some cards will have some kind of insurance included. You look into that as well. So those are the factors to investigate, and you should have a first choice and a second choice. Those who have got stuck with Revolut, 100% open up a Revolut one, a Starling account today. It takes no time at all. 100% open up a second account like Monzo as well. Have these accounts ready. Have these accounts made. If you've got the funds, put some in. And if something goes wrong, you've got that backup plan. Now, in terms of getting your payment ready, when you're going to make that payment, I'm going to show you how it's going to happen. It's literally clicking on the e-wallet and entering your card and buying basically the money. So you're going to buy 30,000 reals and it's going to end up into your account, and it's going to take it out of your bank account in dollars or Canadian dollars or in sterling, according to what your base bank account is. So I want you to appreciate that you're buying an item effectively. And so you know that when you're buying an item, it's done in 1 minute. It might ask you to check on your app, get a code, approve, or whatever, depending upon your banking service. And in order to make sure that that goes smooth, these are the tips that you want to follow. And we will make these slides available for you, inshallah. First of all, you need to make sure that your phone is not automatically using a VPN, which will flag the attempt at the transaction as fraudulent. So you need to make sure that your security notifications on your device, get someone who understands it to check that it's absolutely not trying to do a VPN job. Secondly, if you go into your bank app, you'll be surprised to find the settings that are there. There'll be some that will say that there'll be some that mention a limit that you didn't realize that was there, certain transactions in other currencies that weren't there. You want to make sure that you lift all of them. The third is that you actually speak to them, live chat or in person. Before you even make a small payment, you're going to say to them, right, I just need to know, I'm going to go into a Saudi store online and I'm going to buy a Saudi product. It's a package holiday. It's called Nusuk Hajj. Just call it. Say it's a package holiday pilgrimage, and I need to pay for my hotel and my flights and whatever, and it's going to cost something in the region of 50,000 Saudi riyals, approximately $15,000, approximately 10,000 pounds. That's how much it's going to cost per person. I'm buying 3, I'm buying 4. You're going to be very clear with them. You're going to say that it has got the amount in Saudi riyals there. I am the one that's going to do it. Can you just make sure that I don't have any problems? Can you clear the way? I'm now making that call now. Have that conversation. Ask them, is there any things that I'm missing in my app that I need to enable, blah, blah, blah. Get that all sorted. Then start with a small payment of 100 riyals. Okay, it's losable if something goes wrong. You go there, make a 100 riyal payment. You know that the service is working. Again, this has to be post a phone call. Follow this order. There are people out there that are keep messaging and saying, I paid into Revolut 20 riyals, 50 riyals, 100 riyals. Revolut's great. Bro, it's not great. This does not necessarily prove to you that your card is going to work. You have to make sure you do the Nusuk part, the contact the bank part first. Secondly, all of the small payments are going through. All of them are going through. It's the big payments that are being held. So the next the next stage, A lot of people are talking about strategy of uneven amounts, 2,000, 1,000, 2,000, 1,000, 2,000. That is a fraudulent way, because I want you to think about how the big scams in history have occurred. And when your debit card gets hacked or gets stolen or your details get stolen, they don't go and buy one massive thing because the bank will stop it. So what do? They go to the shops and they buy small amounts. They go online, they buy small amounts regularly, small ones. They also do that in a very normal way that you won't notice, because there are many folks like I don't check. I can't afford to have notifications on my screen. And so I can't afford to follow everything. And then when I look at my bank statement, when is that? I look at it every 3-4 weeks or whatever. And so in that period of time, small amounts are not being seen. So I want you to realize that the theory that you put like 10, 12 payments is not a sound theory at all. So if you're going to do it, put it into 1 or 2 payments. But those payments are going to be done live. So you're going to be there, you're about to enter the details, and you get them on the phone. Get them on the phone, or on the app, live chat. Right. I want to make a payment now. I did the test payment already. I spoke to you about this yesterday as well, but I'm now telling you I'm doing it again. I'm going to now make a payment for 30,000 riyals. I've put the figures there in riyals, okay? Because that is all you'll see. You're not there to do 2,000 pounds. You won't know that, okay? You're going to be, right, as you're going to see in a minute, typing 30,000 or 20,000. It's going to be in riyals, and you're going to, in your head, do the sum calculation. So you will already know, for example, that the package is 50,000. And I've been told that I need to get 52,000 in. So you need to know that I'm going to do a 30,000 riyal payment and a 22,000 riyal payment. So you're going to do it on the phone with them. Now people are going to say, this is so much, this is so extremist. Yeah, of course it's so much. And of course it's extremist because I don't want you to lose your money. That's why. And it doesn't matter if you go through a few extra steps and it takes a few extra hours. So what? Get them on the phone and they'll say, go ahead, do it. Or they'll say, go ahead, we're here, whatever. If it then gets blocked, you've got immediate accountability. And hopefully it will not get blocked at all. You might have credit limits, you might need to change that, but if you're doing what I'm saying, which is you're doing not massive payments, like 20,000 and 30,000 is like 5,000 pounds or whatever it is, okay? It's not normally above your credit limit, but make sure that you have that option. And then a combination of payments, if card options, like I told you, you should have Starling, Monzo, Revolut, like I do. You should have a Chase, you should have a few others. And then, like I said before, you do want to be able to have friends and family that are ready, that can use their cards and make the payment, and you will then transfer the money to them afterwards. You've got to have that strategy and plan ready. So this sheet we will share. I do not now see any reason for you to not hold back any longer, right? If you really are worried, but this is me, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm waiting days yet. I just see no reason, no pressure. There's at least 2 weeks, 10 days, 14 days to make these payments. Avoid the weekends because some of these banks play around and take more money and give poorer rates. But I do not see an actual reason for you to have to rush this payment. Honestly, I don't, especially as it only takes a few minutes. Right. What I want to do now is, let me come back to Telegram and make sure that everyone's good. What I'd like to do now is show you live, if you've been holding back off Nusuk or you don't know how it works, what it will look like. And unfortunately, I am sorry to say that Al-Bayt still have not been able to upload their packages yet. Might be tomorrow, might be the day after tomorrow. I don't know. I'm tired of waiting. So today I'm going to go live with all of the details that I've been given. But there's already packages there, so I can show you how it will work and what will be different for the group packages and what will be like for the custom packages. And I'm also going to show you a few things that are going to happen that are different to what it looks like now. So let's go and log in to, right, let's see if this is still logged in. Oh, it is. So let's not do that. Actually, no, actually, I just want you to imagine, right? So we were using Widad's account here. I want you to imagine that we're logged out. Oh, yep. This is really important. SubhanAllah, look at the qadr of Allah that this came up. This will happen. This is irrelevant for you pretty much all the way in the next 2 weeks, because you will not care whether the session is extending, because you're going to be, if you're going to be on Nusuk, you're going to be browsing, so this won't come up. And if you're going to be on Nusuk and not using it, then this will come and then it will go. When will this be needed for you? On the day it goes live. Why? Because when we tell you, right, guys, we want you to log in, because we know what time it's going live. It's going live 8 p.m. UK time. So 7 p.m., 6 p.m., guys, log in. And when you're sitting there logged in, what are you doing? It's going to start to tell you this. So you want to extend the session. You want to keep clicking around and you want to keep it active. This is one of the strategies. We'll have another webinar about this, by the way. Don't worry, okay? Strategies for what happens on the day that it goes live. But I'm just giving you a heads up. You will always want to extend your session. You always want to be logged in. Now, I just want you to realize that if we were logging in from the beginning, we'd press login, then you know that you'd have to put in your Nusuk email address and your password, and then you press I'm not a robot, and then you press, login. And then what happens is that it sends you to this. And, as you can see, we created these dummy emails for this Nusuk Bakwas, and each time this comes up. And as soon as you've pressed that login button, to get into your thingy, in about 10 seconds, would you agree, folks? You've got your email there, you click on it, and then that's basically what you then go and put in. Here's what's going to happen, folks, on the day that Nusuk goes live. You're going to press login, and sometimes this will be delayed by 15 minutes, and you're going to be pressing this again and again and again, and you're going to be doing this again and again and again, and you're going to be keep pressing again and again, and you are not going to get that immediate login. That's when your pressure is going to increase. That's why we're going to tell you to do it earlier than the beginning time, 1 hour before, 2 hours before, because this can get blocked. And then you'll start to see that your partners are going to receive information that the Nusuk OTP system is down. OTP code systems are the first things to go. Then the whole system crashes. You need to be ready for this when it happens, okay? This will happen, and you're going to be refreshing. So be ready for that. Okay, now, many of you have got this in front of you right here. I just want to tell you, I told you it's not important about some of these categories and the like, okay? And, if we now just do this, Widad hasn't even bothered doing it, because why would she? But let's do it for her right now to show you that it's completely irrelevant. You are told to choose your category. The reason that it's irrelevant is because it actually has no say on what you see or what you buy. You're going to be the one who chooses that. So what is our category? For the sake of argument, it is shifting and it's luxury. But I want to say to you that these words are completely meaningless. There are some amazing hotels, for example, in premium. So you could choose premium, and you could choose luxury, and even you could choose standard. It doesn't matter. Anyway, point is that we're going to go with this one here, luxury shifting. That's basically what our program is considered, and confirm that. Okay, so now we are there. We go back to our dashboard. You can see now that the preferred thingamajig is there. Now, I just want to show you when it's time to top up how you do this. We look at Widad's e-wallet. Bachari, she has absolutely nothing. Okay, absolutely nothing. This button withdraw is only for after Hajj is finished. Okay, we'll speak about that in a second. You're all going to come up and press top up. You're going to press top up, and you're going to then go to next. Okay, so go to next, and then you're going to press credit card, not bank transfer, as we said. Let's activate that first, right? Cash collection, nobody is to do cash collection. I'm making it haram upon you, okay? I'm not going to explain anything. It's a complete bakwas, complete nonsense. Avoid it like the plague, right? Bank transfer, no problem if you want to do it. I would avoid it. I would avoid it. Too much hassle. Credit card is the one you choose, whether that's debit card or not. What did we say? We said 20,000, well, to start off with 100 riyals, okay? I agree that when I'm withdrawing the necessary amount, that a 2.3% fee, which is actually 2.675% because they're going to put VAT on it, can you believe? This is going to be taken from your amount from what you refund. I'll explain that in a second, okay? You agree with that, and then you say next, okay? So you go to next now, and as you can see, she's based in Canada, so you'll put in her details, she'll put in her address, you're going to next, put in the card details, billing details, can't put the card number in, just like making a payment, and then you'll press submit, pay, and it will pay, and that's it. And the transaction will be done, and you look at your bank app, and it should say Nusuk Hajj or Rajahi Bank or Ta'ashir. these things are changing on the apps and how they pull in the information, but it should say Nusuk Hajj. So that is how quick and easy the payment will go through. It should go through in minutes. If it didn't go through, it means there's a problem. You need to get on the phone to your bank. But if you've been listening to me, you're only going to make the payment with them on the bank. Okay. Let's now go back and do that again. If we are doing now, it's got 100 riyals in, because that's, how much that we did. Why is this not working here? No, yeah, okay. So here, if you know now the cost of your package is 50,000 according to what I tell you, then you're going to say, I need to put in 51,000. That should take me over, or 52,000. That should take me over. So you're going to put in 22,000, and then you're going to then send that, and then the next payment you're going to do is the next day, whilst on the phone to your bank, 30,000. There you go. That is how you're doing the thing. Now, I want you to look at packages. This is where you're going to come to, all right? When it comes to packages up here, this is the easier way to do it. You can do it via the service providers, but just let's go to packages. Now, when you come onto packages once in the next couple of days, when obviously Al-Bayt start uploading them, and Sira and Dar es Salaam with MCDC, Alborj, and all of the various different companies, then this is where they will all be appearing. And you can reduce the way that you're looking at them by selecting different types or the actual provider itself. So for example, if you go into this, look how meaningless this is. Look how rubbish. Luxury shifting. Yeah, you might click on that and think you're going to see all of the luxury shifting packages. But if you come down, luxury shifting. That means that whoever uploaded their package, did they put it under both categories of luxury shifting and luxury shifting? You get my point? That they're going to definitely update this. They're going to have to change it. That's another gremlin that, is so obvious. So rubbish. Not going to use that. Category type, public custom. Again, look how nonsense this is. Look at this package right here. I was playing around with this earlier on. Public shows you that same package. Custom shows you that same package. You tell me then what's the point of that? Waste of time. Proximity to Haram. Who on this planet knows where zone M is? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. All right? We're having this laugh amongst ourselves. Where the hell is zone M? So all of this, irrelevant. All right? That's why I said to you, you should focus on who you trust for your Hajj program and just go straight to theirs. And then if you get recommendations to others, go and find them, because you find those people, they'll have a link and a code to their particular program, and you can go straight there. You can just do this easy by going to Al-Bayt, okay, which is there. And if you click on Al-Bayt, as you see, there's nothing to show. No programs up for Al-Bayt. If we look at Rawaf Mina, I think, none there for Rawaf Mina. That's another big company. Another big company is Burj, which does have some. Let's look at Burj's programs. Now, if you look at this one...
Can I just say, the preferred package, if you don't select that, I don't think you can see the packages. I'm pretty certain, because I couldn't do it until I've selected my preferred package.
You mean you said
that's irrelevant.
No, what's irrelevant is not that you don't do it. What's irrelevant is what you choose, Shah.
Yeah, but you have to do it to be able to see the packages.
Correct. Yes, everybody. If that's not clear, you can't leave that. Likewise with the e-wallet, you can't watch and see other things unless you activate the e-wallet, are verified, activate the e-wallet and activate your preferred package. But it just doesn't matter what you choose, but you've got to choose something. Every part has to be activated, those 3 boxes. You can't leave them empty. So just on that point. Now, let's now just look at this company, Alborj, right? Every company will have a different style of presentation. There are various ways of graphics. I like this package. And so therefore, I don't know anything. I'm just giving an example. So I'm going to click on this and it says that this is now put it into my preferred. And you can add 3, 4, 5 of these. Now, I just want you to know that this will only help you to look at them, right? And over the next few weeks, when you're starting collecting information and we're telling you use a backup and have a backup, then you can start clicking these and they will add to a little list. Now, if that works, and it hasn't worked in 2023 and in 2024, that's why I'm not putting too much emphasis on this. If it works, it means that when you're looking at your packages, then let's just like this one and let's like this one. If you look at now this, view available packages, you've got thousands of them. Oh, sorry, let me just remove this filter, Alborj. So let's just make it select. So if you look, you got 53. By the way, there were 52 earlier on, 59, 9, people, they removed it back. It's not worth wasting your time until things are really ready to go. But if you just look at that, there's currently 53 that are showing. But if you now say, I only want to look at my own preferred packages, so I click that one there, then I see only of my 3. So it's working so far better than it did in 23 and 24. So maybe it's worth it. So you might have your various packages available here. In a few days' time, once everything calms down and our program is up, we'll do another webinar with a few of the other Al-Bayt programs as well to give you a bit more extra information. Now, one very interesting brand new update to Nusuk that never used to exist before, but I think could stay, is this thing here. All right. I don't know whether this will work or not, but this seems to be, right, indicating that how many people have actually pressed this. Now, I want you to know that it's not very important, you pressing this, because it's just making it easy for you to see. But it might be that a person looks at this and says, yeah, you know what? There's 10,000 people that have liked this package. That means there's a lot of demand for that package. That means that me trying to go for that package might not be a great idea. On one hand, I like the theory and I like the way that Nusuk is trying to make that work. On the other hand, as someone that deals with stats and studied statistics, I know that how weak this point is as well, because so many people will just press preference, have no intention. Similar to the way that people are commenting, how am I going to get into your program when there's 1,000 people in the chat and there's 1,300 in the channel? And you need to understand that the stats over the years tell us what this actually means. In 2024, we had 2,000 people basically in our channel, right? And 394 people joined our program. That was 394 spaces. And when I say 394 people, I mean that I want to say 2 weeks after it went live, the last people joined. So imagine in today's money, that would mean that on the 9th of February when it went live, Nusuk kept going back, forth, crashing this, that phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. They kept adding visas. At the moment, they've said, we're not adding anything. We're not crashing. We're not doing anything. But we've seen that in the story play out before. And then in the end, some people in the last 2 weeks down the line, they came through the door. 400, despite 2,000 people saying, we want to go, being in all the webinars, seminars, commenting, this, that, whatever. This 1 in 5 concept is accurate for nearly everything that I see as a professional in this field. And I would assume the same for here. When you see a number, you should only consider that 1/5 of those people are actually going to go for it. This is just something, a tip for you guys, consider it. Now, let's just have a look at the details and understand this is not standardized. This is the problem. I want you to look at this price, 41,000. I'm scared for this package, by the way, because even though it's not bad hotels, right? In terms of Shazia is a little bit of it's not a 5-star. I'd be surprised if they consider that as 5 stars. What's it been rated as? Wow, are they considering Shazia as a 5-star? Yeah, I don't know about that. I wouldn't put that. It's actually a bit further back and it's not 5-star in my opinion as well. Swiss Hotel certainly is. And that's 41,000. This is a program that's not going to be available to buy, according to Nusuk, on the 9th of February. This is excluding flights. This is a custom package. This is the one that's going to be open for everywhere in the world to come to use at the end, meaning a week later when it opens up and the visas have been consolidated. So we know, and you heard this before, on Saturday, on the 9th of February, if it goes live, in that first half an hour, the visa quotas are going to run out, most likely. And therefore, that will mean that those people from the US, UK, Canada especially, are not going to have an opportunity, according to Nusuk's statement right now, to buy anything like this package because their visas will not be there. The people who are offering, so this Burj as a company, right? I want you to think about their strategy, their financial strategy. They are hoping beyond hope that Nusuk are going to change their policy and offer new visas, because they're going to say, right, the quota is definitely going to run out in the first day that it goes live. The group flights are going to be offered. People see the convenience of that. Good prices, good convenience. Quota, they're being offered first as well. Buy. And then your 3,500 quota for the UK, 3,500 for the US, 1,200 odd for the Canada, whatever it is. Okay, they'll be exhausted, and then that's it. And that's why they're going to go for it. This company is hoping, like last year, and like in 2023, that Nusuk will throw a bone at the Hujjaj and say, let's increase the visas a little bit. So they might throw in another 500 there, 500 here, 500 there. What they'll do is that they'll look at the other countries, especially Germany. I want to say Italy, but especially Germany. They get a big quota, like 6,000 or something, because there's so many Muslims there. But and who are the Muslims that are there? Turks, right? That's the dominant nation that are ethnic background, I mean. And you'll find, what do? They are simple kind of folks, right? You know, when it comes to the Muslims in the West, right? Our practicing nature in the UK, US is very different to the practicing type of Muslim in Germany. Most of them are very ethnic, secular type Muslims, and therefore they are happy to go via the Turkish route. They'll go back and use a Turkish group, and therefore they don't use a lot of the German quota. So the German quota then comes back. So they might use only 3,000 visas. So there's 3,000 visas now that Nusuk are saying, well, nobody's going to use it. So we're going to now give it to the UK. We're going to give it to the US. We're going to give it to the Canada, and increase their quotas by 1,000 each. So that goes then to the next week after, and then we're back in the game again. And this is what these people are depending upon. Will it happen for certain? Who knows? It's a risk. Every non-flight option is a risk. You are going to be looking at the if we go back and see the packages, you look at some of this crazy cheap, like 27,000. Look at this, 27,000. I mean, compared to, you know, ours, which could be around 50,000. And you might look, wow, that's good. And it is good, but it's a very simple program. And as long as you are happy to be far away and that you are not having any 5-star, as you can see, this doesn't even have a hotel in Mecca, a portion. This one here also is obviously a very basic kind of place in Medina. So it's cheap. And that's what people who have got a small budget are ready for. However, I want you to know that that flight, if that's coming from Canada, that flight in itself is going to be costing somewhere in the region of 15,000 riyals. 15,000 riyals. 12,000 riyals, 10,000 riyals. So when you're buying these programs, first of all, you can only buy it a week later, can't buy it at the beginning. And secondly, there's a lot to put on. There's a risk that you will miss out. So now you've got a basic idea of how the packages work, how the system works. I think I'll come out of that, I think. Anything else that I want to cover in this, guys? Because I want to almost break it up for the people and give them an opportunity to speak. I don't know what you think about that, how long we've been going, because I do want to present now some strategy and theory. Is there any emergency urgent question about what I've actually presented? I'm only going to take one or two, and then I'm going to get back to the presentation. So I saw KHM and Maz hands go up, but I don't know with that. Are you like working out who's in a priority?
Sure, I'll unmute them. Go ahead, KHM and Maz, if not KHM.
Speak, KHM. Speak. 3, 2, 1. Maz, go ahead, speak.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. So are you saying that the best strategy in terms of the packages that are available are to go for the flight options?
No doubt about that.
Okay.
Even non-Al-Bayt companies. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. Because it's such a risk in waiting, right? Now, you know who it's not a risk for? It's not, sorry, when I make that statement, such a risk, I mean such a risk for Brits, Americans, and Canadians. It's not a risk for every other nation. They don't have any other option, right? But for us lot, massive risk. Listen, think about it. I want everybody to focus with me and listen. Why do you think Nusuk did this? Why do you think Nusuk created this 2-tier system? because there are two tiers. That's why. The Americans and the Brits and the Canadians are people of money. And there are people who, they value service. They value, all the kind of things that Vision 2030 and all that is built around, right? And we were a big bakra for them, a big cash cow. And they know that we're willing to pay for ease and for peace of mind and stability and all the rest of it. They know that in the other countries, the economic situation of those Muslims is not the same. Their mentality is not the same. And that they're going to be willing to go the hard miles and take risks and do madnesses and all the rest of it. And so they've got that option to, so what do they know? They know that Hajj companies, travel agents, are not willing to take the risk. I've got to pause here. Al-Bayt, they've dropped about $1 billion, I don't know how many billion reals on flights, hotels. Imagine that they don't sell out. So imagine that people do not buy their packages. They've bought, I want to say, upwards of 14,000, 15,000 flights at a couple of grand a pop, right? If you don't buy those flights, they lose those. Hotel rooms that are costing silly money. If you don't, what now? So they need to try to sell them, right? Okay. They need to now look and identify who's going to buy these. And when they assess and realize that the people from Sweden and Germany and whatever are not the people that are going to buy, why would I then, as a businessman, offer these packages that come with all of these expensive costs to the people in Germany and Sweden? I wouldn't. And guess what? It's not just Al-Bayt that believe that. It's every travel agent. And that's why these countries in Europe and in South America and in other places, they have very little options because no company is wanting to risk it from a business point of view. But they're more than happy to offer it in UK, US, Canada, 2 to 3 packages per person because they know they've got a much better chance of getting a sale and getting their money back. That's how these Saudi companies work. And so therefore, the Nusuk, where the Ministry of Hajj, they looked at this and they said, well, how on earth are we going to use all these people in the West as partners, right? When they're not willing to invest in the Swedens and in the Germanys and in the Norways and they're not willing to be on the high streets and they're not willing to do that. So they said they're going to be disadvantaged. And by the way, not just the companies, but the airlines as well. You look at the amount of options that you got to fly out of the States and Canada only coming up now, but the UK, we've got about 50 different options to get to Saudi, right? Now have a look if you're in Norway, how many options you've got, or if you're in Italy. The airlines don't want to offer the flights, right? And so Nusuk look at this and they say, that's unfair. The Ministry of Hajj say it's unfair to be offering, we want to try and make an equal process to people that can afford it. And for Norway, I'm just using Norway, Miskin Norway, Bajari are getting adored by me, but I'm just using that as an example. But Germany and Italy and whatever, they're not going to be having their flights. They're not going to be having whatever. We've got to help them out. And so we're going to give them this idea called custom flights, allow you to be able to not worry about a visa quota and you can get a flight from any place, whatever. And so they gave them special treatment. Whereas us lot, we're not getting special treatment. We're actually having to pay more for it, but we expect that. Less stress, immediate purchase, blah, blah, blah. So I hope that strategy that I'm explaining and that anyone who's being honest with you is explaining, you understand the basis for it. You understand where it's coming from, I hope.
Sure. So, yeah. But we're bound by, obviously, the visa quotas. So I'm assuming that the number of flights that are going to be on offer are going to be limited. In your experience, how often how quick do those flights sell out, or in terms of those packages, for example?
So on average, you're assuming the worst, and assuming the worst is half an hour or 25 minutes or half an hour. If the system slows down, then it can take 2 hours because nobody can sign in to buy it, right? And it has slowed down. And so, meaning the rush and the nodes are not open. And I want to say that they upgraded it the second time round, and they said 36,000 people will be allowed on in one go, I think. Then there's a waiting room of 16,000. I'm just making these numbers up because I've forgotten, because it's obviously some techie speak. But they had nodes open and then a waiting area. And as soon as one node's out, then the waiting area allows people in, and everybody else can't enter the waiting area until there's a massive emptying out. So there are different times. The quicker that the vote quota will run out is dependent upon how many people are actually getting access to the system. If all the people get access at the same time to the system like they hope to, but they can't actually deliver, it would run out in 5 minutes. It's because they can't access it for long enough that it takes half an hour. And if it crashes, then it takes hours. And if there was the mother of all crashes like happened in 2024, it was a week, I want to say, that nobody could actually get in. Nobody could sign in. We completely broke the system. And then people started to try and come in again a week later. And then they said, okay, we're going to relaunch and we're sorry, and we're going to increase the quota. And that's why everybody got, it was like Oprah Winfrey. You have a car and you have a car and you have a car and you have a car. Basically, the visas for fun. So I hope that answers the question, Maz. I'll take one more.
I've unmuted a special brother. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Meral. I think he's from Norway. Or
Yes. Meral, yes. Yeah, go ahead, brother. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Thank you.
Excellent.
I have 3 questions, probably too much, but I will try to articulate it. Number one, of course, coming from Norway, I have this strategy that I've gathered from different groups, and it seems like if I can see your packages when it goes live, even though I'm from Norway, then I should just go ahead and buy it.
Yes.
And
so
I can buy my own flight.
Yeah. Let me tell everybody who's here, because the majority of the people here are not in your scenario, but there are about a good 15, 20 people that are on our channels that are exactly in your scenario. Everybody, what this means is that you've got folks like Meral in Norway. He's not got much offering, frankly, and there'll be a few other people like that, or they don't like what they're being offered over there, but they cannot access because he's a different nationality. And Nusuk said that only people of the nationality of that country can access the packages in their country. However, and I have been intimating this all the way consistently, haven't I, Meral? Yes, right? Mm-hmm. I've been indicating that Nusuk did allow this last year, and I have a feeling that they're going to change the rules last minute. And I still believe that could happen. 10%, 15%. My confidence is growing, okay? I said to people that if you want a 100% guarantee your Hajj, then you should get it at your first opportunity. But in your case, it wouldn't matter because you have to wait until the second chance anyway, the second thing anyway. So for you, you've actually got nothing to lose. You should absolutely target one of our packages, a UK package. If you can see the UK packages from Al-Bayt, you should absolutely target one of those. And you should put your money into the e-wallet up to that level as well. And knowing that if I can see, and Nusuk do update the system, and I can see the package, then I'm going to buy it. If it allows me to buy it, then I'm going to buy it. And I'm happy to recognize that I have to now fly to the UK, right, and take that ticket. Or, and there'll be other people that, know about this. You're a UK passport holder and you're in another country and you've bought the UK package and you've got the UK flight, but you don't want to use it because that's a mission. I want to just go from Dubai. I want to go from Doha, wherever it is. Then you're going to burn that ticket. And in your case, you go directly from Norway and meet up with us over there or with the package that you're going to choose. And then the other folks will do the same from their country as well. You do not actually have anything to lose.
Yeah. Second question, Sheikh, is that we are a couple of friends here from Norway. So we also think to add among us as a family members, although we are friends. That's okay, I guess.
I think that's a good strategy. Absolutely. I think that's a really, really good strategy. If you're the same kind of gender, that makes it a lot easier. Even if you weren't the same gender, let the Hajj package work that one out. But going as a family unit and then definitely makes it easier in all cases. There's no doubt about that.
Even though we are just friends, it doesn't matter to the
family units have got nothing to do with being relatives or not, because again, let me remind you, a lot of folks are talking about rooming configuration. Well, husband and wife who want to buy a double room, we're going to be together. No, you're not. Nusuk are making it very clear that it doesn't look to family or not family, gender, not gender. It just sees people in a family unit as a useful word. It doesn't actually mean that you are related. And when you buy for your family, you cannot buy, as far as it stands right now, a double for you and a triple for your brother, sister, and brother, and in your family of 5. You can only buy 5 double places, because that's all you're buying. You're always buying a place. And so a husband and wife are not guaranteed to be together in a double room. Now, we will make sure that you are, because we're good at what we do. 99% of our people will be put into their actual family units, but that's not with any help from Nusuk. And certainly legally, Nusuk are making it very clear to you that there is no guarantee. So I want you to be known that the relations part is irrelevant. We do have family units of friends all the time. So Amral, that's absolutely normal.
Can I have another one? Last one?
Yes, go ahead.
This could be controversial because when I listen to your explanation of custom package, and it shows that flight is excluded. And I had a webinar with DST. It's actually showing for phase 1, all of them are custom package with flight excluded. And then they show the next click, they will add flight, and then they will add rooms, and then they will go to the final total cost. And then there's another called public package, which is phase 2. This is where we go to the flights, Musafir or something, and then we choose our own flights from the system. So
So question. At this first phase where it's been claimed that you can buy a package without a flight, how are you buying the flight?
After you click next, and then it goes to a flight option where you choose, and then a room option where you choose, and then it adds to the cards.
Flight option. What are you gonna choose?
I think it's just checking how many people. That's it. It's embedded with the.
No. You said that it was claimed in that webinar that when you choose this package on the phase 1, where we've been told by Nusuk that these cannot be available, it's only those with group flights that are being sold in phase 1.
Sheikh, I received a message from Maiza. She said Sheikh needs to click next. Some of these have group flights, DS1 specifically. So if you just click next, if you scroll down and click next, then you would see the group flight there.
Okay. Then that's not a custom package, Amral. That's a group package then, Amral.
Yes, it is a group package, but they call it
okay.
In the DST webinar, they make this distinction on these wordings. It's very confusing.
Right. It is very confusing because you just literally confused me in this call as well. And I said to you, custom public. This will start to come out, by the way, because Nusuk are going to have to release a statement to make it clear what that means. Now, for us, that's irrelevant. Why? Because we know exactly the code we're going to go to. So we're not going to get confused, right? So at the moment, I'm speaking in a general term for everybody that's still looking for a package. Everyone who's here that knows that they want to go with us, I'm going to give you the code. You're never going to need to go around on Nusuk. You're just going to click our code and you're going to go straight to the one. You don't need to worry about custom public, choose flights, stuff like that. Of course, this is relevant for you because in your second phase, you're going to be choosing a flight from the Musafir system. In the first phase, there is no custom flights. You don't use Musafir. Musafir, by the way, is the internal flight system. It's like Booking.com sells flights within it. That's going to be activated at the second stage. But at the first stage, what you're describing, when you press next and you choose your flight, this is the group flights. Call it public, call it whatever you want. This is the group flights plan. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's clear for me.
And when you press next, then that's the starting price. Once you then press next, then on the group flights one, you will add then your Manchester flight, for example, and that's going to increase the price. And then you're going to see a total price. What you see there is nowhere near the final price. 100%. 100%. Whether you are buying that in custom or whether you're buying that in public, whether you're buying that in phase 1 or whether you're buying it in phase 2. If it's phase 1, the flight is going to be chosen for you. It's going to be called a group flight. It will have a price there and it will add it to the package. In phase 2, there will be no group flight option there. You will then click and you will say choose flight. And then the operator, which is called Musafir, will show you, just like Skyscanner does, a whole load of different options, different times. You choose it, and then you will then see that price go into your basket, and your price will then go up. So it's a different system. It's a horrible system. Musafir should be avoided like the plague because it messed up people so badly last year. They were not able to allow them to vary anything, add luggage, change dates, to do anything. I just want to throw that out there. Be careful of Musafir.
I'm sorry to jump in again, Sheikh. The sound was choppy for like maybe 20 seconds in the very last part of what you were just saying now. So if
basically what I'm saying is that be very careful of Musafir. All right. What I'm going to do, Amrail, okay, we can continue on this. And guys, all those that want to ask questions, just want to finish the presentation. Okay. I want to finish the presentation and then we'll do the Q&A. Okay. Jazakumullah khair, Amrail. Okay. Everyone can mute themselves again. Let's now just go back and finish off then what people want to see about our program, inshallah. So those folks that are not interested in our program or strategy that you can use from us for your program, then you guys are free to leave. And jazakumullah khair. I am now going to go to that's not it. Where is it? Is that the present? Yeah. Okay. So this is presentation. Right. So done this, spoken about this. Landscape, you guys know about that. This is the team, me and Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar. You're going to see an amazing video about this soon, but let's just think, if you're wondering who your farishta is, if you're wondering who Hajj with the e-help is, this is the guy right here, the chief, all right? He's the one that's been helping everybody. If you're asking why is this a Scottish group, that's because Abid is the one who's taking all your making all your calls. So there's Abida, there's Widad, obviously. Shaz came on, he's so rude, just interrupt me as per usual. Tanweer the fish, the one who cancelled the whole call, we're going to kill him afterwards. Nazia, I'm sure, Jiva, and you guys obviously have been in touch with them on the phone. Naeem, I'm sure you would have spoken to. That's G Money right there. This is the AV team right here. Okay, Danish, is the face of everything Telegram, and Arif as well. And this is the legend, which is Doc. We were meant to have our medical seminar with him today. Obviously, things changed with the whole e-wallet delay. We're going to then do that in a couple of days. Right. We've got our codes, folks. All right. We've got, We've got our codes. So it is confirmed, 17 days/18 days. We've got our flights. We've got everything. This is all the good news now. We've got everything that you need to know. Taqriban, okay? Dates essentially confirmed. It's going to be 4 nights, and 9. We're going to go through that in a second. And this is going to be the actual final codes. Because they're not up on the Nusuk thing, it's kind of irrelevant right now to speak about these codes. But at least you now know that it's A1400, goodness me, A1400U, AE UK, and then AE US, and then AE Canada. So you've got these 3 for these areas. You would click on that code and choose the London flight. You would choose the Manchester flight. The US one, there'll only be 1 flight. Canada, there'll only be 1 flight as well. So these are our codes. We will release these so that you're aware of them. Why is it important to know that it's A1400U, just in case the link didn't work and you need to search it quickly, but you'll know about that. You're going to be taking sleeps. All right, let's go into our hotels. I'm delighted to tell you folks, the people who are here on the 2024 call are all jumping up and down saying, yeah, because this is my favorite hotel in Medina. This is Dalla Tayyiba, legit, amazing. And it's right in front of the Haram. So this is the entrance to the Haram, Masjid Nabawi, right here. And that's bam, straight there. And what this hotel is so good for is to enter for the sisters. So this is the sister section right here. So it's really good for the women. So the women are really, very, very fortunate. So that's our main gate. Medina is Dalla Tayyiba. Mecca is confirmed. Hilton Convention. I think you all knew that because that's actually the entire Al-Bayt or the majority of the Al-Bayt family are going to be in the Mecca Convention. Hilton Mecca Convention, high quality hotel. It looks like a proper 5-star. I like this one better. This one looks far older. I'll explain that in the later webinars, what the Medinan. I want you to actually, whilst I'm here, let me explain this to you, by the way, guys. This masjid right here, this is the size of the masjid grounds. This is not the masjid. This is about the masjid. This is the size of the masjid. This is the forecourt. This is all the marble where all the umbrellas are. Medina, the expansion of Masjid al-Nabawi, you will have seen if you've ever been to Umrah recently that you've got a whole load of cranes right here, okay? And that's been the case, if you look at it, all right? At-Tawsi'a al-Sharqiyya. This is the eastern extension that should have been completed 15 years ago. The actual cranes have not even been taken down. This masjid is meant to go that way and go that way, and all of this is going to be knocked down. All of these 5-star hotels, all of the ones that you know that are super famous, they've all been told 15 years ago that get ready, when we tell you, you're going to be knocked down. So what do you think all the owners of these hotels do? They do absolutely nothing. That's why all of these hotels look shabby, look battered, even though they're 5-star, even though they're on the front row, they're all on what we call a legal stay. A stay of execution is when you're about to be killed. A stay of execution when it comes to being demolished is what all of these hotels legally are. And they carry on, and they're hoping that it just keeps getting delayed, that when the money comes in and they stop paying Ronaldo £5 billion a week, then they're going to start and with this part here. And then by the time that part's finished, then they're hoping that they've got some more time to make some money here before this goes out. And then this then becomes this area here on the ring road. That will then become the new front row area. You see these lot are safe. Those are at the bottom. Those who are in Zamzam Pullman and those other hotels, these look more like 5-star hotels. And that's why the rooms are very small, classic capitalist 5-star hotels of the West. So, all about profits, smaller rooms. You come to these ones, these are old school 5-star. So people might not like, that it's like gray carpets and all this kind of stuff. But the size of these rooms are like twice the size of the other 5-star hotels that are here. Just a little bit of background for Medina hotel politics. Anyway, we're in a great hotel there, and this is the thing that you've all been waiting for. Alhamdulillah, we can now confirm, as you've seen, Basecamp is going to be a brand new Basecamp, bigger and better than ever. This is actually a real photo that was taken a couple of weeks ago, and there's Yani. We're not going to tell you who that is because he's the one who destroyed everything in his phone call. But anyway, this is our location. I want you to have a look at this location. Obviously, I chose it. I take full responsibility for this building. I went to see maybe over 50 different ones. This year's group is going to be nearly 500 strong. And so we needed a building bigger than the one that we had before, which was just about here. All right. This was just about here. And so now we've gone for a bigger building here. It's brand spanking new. It has an incredible musalla, which is so important for our Basecamp activities. But also, very importantly, it is not too high. It is wide. Why is that important? Because I love the fact that we use stairs to keep our fitness going up. There's loads of lifts. It's not an issue of there are enough lifts. But the more that we start practicing our fitness for the days that are to come, which are going to be thousands of steps when we're doing all of the various things, I like that a lot. But these are logistics. Leave that to me. Why do I like this location, folks? It is not a bad walk, okay? This will take about 45, 50 minutes to get down to the haram, maybe an hour, depending. It might be longer if the heat is affecting you really, really badly. So this is the route. This is all covered. So this is uncovered. This is along a road. And once you hit this part here, this is a road tunnel. So you're undercover here, and then you break out into the forecourt from the haram. It's also, this is what I love most about it. You don't book a place in Azizia to go to the haram. I will be very surprised if there's anybody in my program that I will say to them, I want you to rest now and recover and get ready and get sleep, because we've got 2 or 3 very big days in front of you. If someone says to me, I want to go to the haram the next day, I'll say, Bismillah tafaddal. I will expect that person's Hajj to be of the lowest quality in my group. The people who trust the process are the people who listen to my advice. That's why I don't buy a building based upon how easy it is to get to the haram or not. I buy a building upon how easy it is to get to the Jamarat, like there. I buy a building or ask for a building from Al-Bayt on how easy it is to get to Mina. It's very difficult to get back to the Mina tents, which you can't see in this building. But if you look at my mouse, it's down this direction. But this is the all-rounder that I am happy with. And we'll speak more about that in the further webinars that go into detail about this program. But anyway, this is all now updated and all facts that these are, I can announce now. We'll cover this in the first webinar, but just again, this is a Tarbiyyah program, meaning that this is a single, unique program. Not like the other Hajj packages. They're not a commercial packages, whatever. So it's one program for all countries, meaning that you can have family in other countries. They all can meet and join with you and be with you in the same program. That's unlike others in which there are different programs for different countries, even though we are offering this with separate flights in US, Canada, and then group flights possibly as well. Custom flights potentially as well for Europeans and South Americans and the like. it's only one program that everyone begins together and ends together. Pre-Hajj, we've got loads of stuff that we're going to do. This is all after what we've been doing so far. We've got a load of prep work and webinars to start after Nusuk. Then we've got the videos and a course that's going to be done. This is how we've been able to reduce the length of last year's program this year, because we've put a whole load that are going to be going online. There's going to be a very detailed physical preparation plan as well that I want everybody to get involved with. I'll deal with that. And then for the ladies, you know, a lot of people ask, is this a group for the ladies? This group is dominated by the ladies. Yani our team is dominated by the ladies because they are small in number and big in voice. In terms of what they produce, they're obviously our rock that we depend upon. And the majority of our people in numbers, so out of our 500, we would expect 300 to be women. Most of them, a lot of them will be single women, those that will feel comfortable. We've been doing this for many, many years. We know how to look after the women. And beforehand, they have major issues, whether it's X, Y, Z, menopause, menstruation, want to use pills, blah, blah, blah. We have a very detailed program and medical staff that are going to be able to consult you and give you the best plan. We're going to have a physical seminar as well. That's going to be May 4th, inshallah. It's going to be in Shido, but it's going to be professionally. I'm pretty sure you guys like our AV skills and technology skills. So you know that we're going to be able to do an experience where you're going to be like you're sitting there in the actual place itself. During the Hajj, I don't need to say anything. This is the most packed and most detailed program based upon your spiritual development that's possible to find out there. We are the original one that ever did that. We are the most proud of this aspect. All of this will be taken to a different level. And also everyone who's there on an individual basis, you'll be thinking, how is it possible 500 people? You leave that to me. That's what the same 400 people last year said. That's what the 400 people in 2023 said. That's what the 300 people in 2019 said. That's what all the hundreds of people say every year. How? And yet they're still here saying, he did. Right. Afterwards, mentorship, Telegram. This Telegram group is not this one here. It's a private one that will continue for always. All right. I'm not going to have to go into this because I spoke about this later, but this is an example of what our program is like. All these greens are activities and stuff that we do. It's a very detailed program. If you want to look at this later, you can pause on the YouTube video and break it down yourself. But when I say that this is looking at every part of your development, that's what it looks like from 2024. These are some of the folks in Basecamp, but I'm pretty sure that you know all about that. Let's just come to now this, okay? Package prices, folks. They still have not given us the prices. I'm very disappointed at that, but then at the end of the day, we take the rough with the smooth. But right now, I'm going to commit to a price that you can use for your e-wallet. We're going to do it right now. And then we're going to produce something. I might delay it by a day or two, but live right now, we're going to do some prices. What am I going to base it upon? I was told categorically by the Al Bayt senior team that the prices will not go above 10%, whatever happens. So I'm going to hold them to account on that. And there will be absolute, it's not, go to what will happen if I find that I got let down. But I don't expect to be let down. The reason I'm with Al Bayt is that they have not let me down ever when it comes to Hajj. Everything I ask for, they give me. That's the reason I'm here. It does sound a bit horrible, but I have a very, very popular program. I have an incredible team, and I have amazing people that come to Hajj with me. They deserve the absolute best, And any company that takes my people is going to make tens of millions in profit. And I'm so happy that they do. But if you are going to make that money, you got to deserve it. And they give me what I want, essentially. And that's all you need to know. Dave said that the price is not going to go up by 10%. All right. So let's look at what's going to be the cheapest price. Okay. The cheapest price, if we look, is a quad. This is including a flight. Okay. This is including the flights. And I know the flights, so I'm going to tell you the flights now as well. 45,088 is no, that's not the cheapest. Sorry. London's cheapest. Okay. Quad 43735. Yeah. 43735 times 0.1 comes up at 1.1. You know, it's a good thing I did maths, isn't it? Times 1.1, okay, is 48,109. 48,109. As of XE, 48,109 riyals is 10,263 pounds. So we expect that the cheapest price should not be above 10,263 pounds. That's all said and done. No extra charges. The only thing that you'll need to pay for is Qurbani, which is about 150 quid. I want to say, I'm taking a risk on that, but 180, 150, one something. And that will be paid over there in cash, and you can pay in all kinds of currencies. We'll organize that locally with a person, but there's no other hidden costs. That is including tax. That is with your flight. The cheapest price from a London quad, I do not believe will go over 10,263, meaning that I do not believe that you need to credit that account more than 10,263 per person if you're going for a London quad. You do not need to add more in. If you now turned around, folks, and listen to me carefully, and said, you know what, it's good to be on the safe side, and I do agree, it is good to be on the safe side, and you put in £11,000, okay? If you put in £11,000 aiming for a quad London price, £11,000, which would be £11,000 is 51,561 riyals, okay? 51,561 riyals means that you would have, and it turned out to be, 48,108, then you've got 3,000 riyals left. When you now do your calculation of your refund, they're going to take 2.67%, right? So times 0.2675. So they're going to take 80 riyals, and 80 riyals is basically 20 quid. You're going to lose 20 quid on your refund. A lot of people getting kind of a bit stressed out by this. This is what it means, that the amount that you've overpaid, which is in most cases going to be like 1,000 or 2,000 riyals, 2.675% of that is the fee that they're going to take. By the way, it's still outrageous, by the way, but that's what they've said. So you're going to lose about 20 quid on the refund. You're not going to get all that back. You're going to lose 80 riyals. That's what it means, okay? This is very separate to the refund schedule. A refund schedule is about you changing your mind after you've bought your package and you want to then try to get a refund. Then you've got the 100% comes back if you buy it, if you do the refund within 3 days. Then you lose a whole 5% of your package, which is huge. That's the whole amount of money. You're only going to get 95% back. And if you do it after the 20th of Ramadan, you've seen that graphic, we'll share that as well. Then you lose everything. You get nothing back. Keep that separate from this 2.675%. This 2.675% is only referring to the extra that you pay when you credit your e-wallet. Which is why we're waiting for the prices to come out. That's why I'm telling you folks, if you're really desperate, go and put some money into the e-wallet if you want. But just wait a couple of days. The prices will definitely be released on Nusuk, and the packages too. You'll know the exact sum of money, and therefore you can then put the money in. Let's just take the most expensive package so that you know exactly where you stand. So that's going to be a double from Canada. 51,960 riyals times 1.1. That's therefore 57,156. 57,156 riyals. 57,156 riyals comes up to a shocking 21,900 Canadian dollars. 21,900 Canadian dollars. But that's at the top end of our quote. That's the most expensive room. You can get something which is significantly cheaper, like the quad. And that's, of course, including the flight. And that's something that we don't know for certain. It might be not 10%. It might be 2% increase in price, whatever. Again, just give it 1 or 2 days for the prices to come out. So I hope that makes sense. This is already on our group anyway, so you can use that. Now look at the flights. We have got every flight confirmed, alhamdulillah. This is a world premiere, mashallah, except Canada at the moment. There is one, we'll release this. I don't even know what the value of releasing this is, but just to give you a plan, okay? You can pause this later on, but essentially we've got an incredible selection of flights. Now, to get the exact flights that we want is the single most difficult aspect of Hajj. That the majority of our flights are getting our people here when we want them. So we need the American to fly before the 24th because they arrive. Look at this. They're going to set off on the 23rd of May and still arrive like 6 hours after the Brits do. So look, on the 24th of May, no, that's not right. Sorry, they're going to arrive on the 24th of May, whereas we're going to arrive about X hours later in the morning of the 25th. The program itself will not start until the 25th of May. So the American flight arrival is always the best. When it goes to leaving, then you're leaving the day after the majority of the flights. So it seems like on the 10th, majority, we've got Manchester, we've got London, they got the 10th, there's a second London flight. I will speak about these flights later, but you can see that the difference is just this. So they fly out on the same day. So if you look at London, the 24th of May, this is the same flight. If you can see that it's going directly to Saudi to Riyadh. There's no such thing as a direct flight to Medina, by the way. No such thing. If anyone tells you there's a direct flight to Medina, it's not true. So it goes to Riyadh and it will arrive in Riyadh. This is from Heathrow. So this flight and this flight are the same. There'll be a good couple of hundred seats, okay, for this London flight. And it will arrive in the evening, right? And then you'll catch the Medina flight. So we're going to arrive basically, nighttime of the 24th, right? Early morning. So you'll be able to make Fajr, inshallah, in Masjid Nabawi. That's the same. On the way out, this flight on the 10th is going to be leaving at 4 o'clock. And this flight is going to be leaving at 8 o'clock. And I want to say that we're going to do another webinar on how to use this to your advantage. Because there'll be some people that would prefer this flight because they want to get home quicker. And there'll be other people that will prefer this flight because they want more time. So the opposite. And that should play into your strategy of which London flight that you want to get. So we'll cover that later in another webinar. We look at Manchester. It's pretty straightforward. It's all one flight in and one flight out. So you guys are going to leave at 5:20 and arrive at 4:25, and everyone's going to leave at 1:40. Tight that one very early departure. That 10th of June, we get back home on the 9th, and so on. The American one leaving on the 23rd, getting there at a beautiful time. This is amazing because basically you're going to arrive at the beginning of your check-in. I want you to know, by the way, that when you look at the arrival time. Not these guys, but just look at Manchester, which will be a couple of hundred people as well, a couple of hundred seats on these flights, okay? You're going to arrive at 4:25. You have actually got your hotel room from 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock from the day before, and it's been completely wasted. You didn't get to use it at all because you arrived 4:25 the next morning. And that's just the nature of all of the flights that come from Europe. Always the way, always the way. So want you to be aware of that. Similar for the Londoners. They're going to arrive at 12:50. They at least get a sleep out of their hotel night. That's why when people talk about days and nights in Medina and Mecca, they are very kind of, when we say 18 days, 19 days, that's because 2 days are taken up in travel. In American case, 2 days just to get here. So it is a 17-day package, but it will come across as 18. And for some people, it will come across as 19 because the flights obviously need to be taken into account. So to close off on this presentation, the checklist is obviously stay calm, follow instructions. I still don't think you need to rush any of the e-wallet, okay? You need to get registered on Nusuk. There are people, by the way, today that are in this webinar, they haven't even joined Nusuk yet. Bro, madness. They love it, man. I don't know what the world they're living in, but if whatever it is, you need to start registration. If you can't, then contact our team anywhere on this channel or the chat. And if you've not been verified, all of you should have been messaging the chief on Hajj with e-help in the Telegram. The address is everywhere. If you're not on the channel and the chat, make sure you do that. Start adding the funds to e-wallet. I don't think you really need to do that just yet. Let the prices come out and just leave the rest to us, man. Leave all this headache and stress to us and put your tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because honestly, that's the only thing which is befitting of the believer, not all this panic that we've been seeing. So folks, I hope that made sense. I'm going to go freestyle, allow people to ask a few questions, and I'll be able to cover some key points in that. I'm going to lose my train of thought if I don't leave it without to manage. So why don't you go ahead with that?
I'll just ask that everybody raises their hands again because I see them, they get raised and then they disappear. So let's start with Ibrahim and then Kinda. Go ahead, Ibrahim. Ibrahim, if not Ibrahim, Kinda, please.
Assalamu alaikum. So once we look at the packages whenever they're released, we'll have an idea of how much money to put into our e-wallets. Would you suggest that we add more just in case the package that we desire sells out? And then that way we can buy another one.
Correct. Your final price that you put in will not be determined by the package that you're aiming for, but the package which is your backup package, if that's more expensive. Yeah, obviously, maybe your target package is more expensive and you're going to make your backup one a cheaper one. So it's got to be a bit over 1,000 or 2,000 riyals above the more expensive package. Correct.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Go ahead, Khadija.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salam, Khadija.
I'm so disappointed. How come we didn't have the Canadian flight? So it means you don't have Canadians coming.
Bro, you know Canadians are such a pain in the backside. I swear to God, everything Canadian is a pain in the backside. Most expensive, most last minute flights. The fewest people that show us the love, all the hate. Tell me one thing positive about Canada other than Tim Hortons, summer breeze, strawberry.
We are very good, positive people. Remember the Al-Maghrib classes, so don't even say that.
Canadians, man. Wait for April, man. I'm coming, inshallah. Right, speak to me, come on.
So inshallah, we are hoping, I'm getting my cousins, 3 of us are coming with you, confirmed it inshallah. So we all singles, all ladies, not singles, all ladies. So our husbands are saying no, but we're saying Issa's team is the best team. We're having hope there inshallah. I hope you get the Canadian flights inshallah.
You will have a Canadian flight, don't you worry. Barakallahu feek, Khadija. We'll see you inshallah on the other side. Barakallahu feek.
Sophia, Khatoon, Sophia. Go ahead, Sophia, please.
Hi, Sheikh. I have actually selected the luxury shifting and activated the wallet, but not paid anything yet, as you've guided us. And another thing which I wanted to know is, for the payments, what I've done is just to be safe, because for the big amounts to transfer, it's going to be difficult on those days, isn't it? So what I've done, I've given the cash to 2 other people who can transfer with Monzo, and I'll transfer as well. So that way it'll become more convenient to transfer, pay those.
No problem with that. Yeah,
we'll just pay normal with the cards.
Nothing wrong with that.
Also, another thing which I wanted to know is, remember I've asked you before as well about the triple rooms. Will it be too much of a problem to select that and get it confirmed?
What do you mean, will it be a problem? Explain to me.
Because, for the triple room, because remember you said you may not get it, or would it be a problem trying to get that?
No, you're going to have to remind me, bro. You're going to have to remind me.
Basically, I will need triple rooms in Mecca and Medina. And I think Azizia as well, because, I have my son going with me who's 14 years
Sure.
old.
No. So let me make it clear. If there are 3 people in a family that go for a triple room, they are almost definitely going to be together. That's the same for the doubles, and that's the same for the quads, and they don't need to worry. And we legally have to tell you that it's not 100% guaranteed. Why? Because Nusuk will keep telling you that. Okay? But we are pretty good at what we do. It is impossible, though, to give every single person their preferred rooms. And the reason why is very simple. It's because we do not know who's going to actually. It's not like, look, there's 500 people in this program. There's 500. It's not 250 double rooms available and 250 couples. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's easy. We then give all the 250 people their double rooms. What we have is 500 spaces, and we're going to have 30 single ladies. We'll have 5 families that have got 5 on 4s, and you've got like 3 brothers and a sister going, and you've got 3 sisters and a brother going, and you've got a husband who's bringing his mum. And There's so many variabilities. And so therefore, it's actually impossible when each space is being sold and not a room to match everybody in a halal way. And that means that you're going to have to do some whatever. However, you do not need to put that stress on. There will be one family that will be, and that will need to, normally one family in 500 or 400 that will need to take one for the team. And they will take that for the team, because the one that will end up is the one that has recognized it's an impossible situation that they asked for. But the majority do not need to be thinking about that. It'd be just too stressful. You're going to be okay in your rooms. Whatever you guys ask for, inshallah, you're going to get. Inshallah. I can't say 100% legally because Al-Baytiani would kill me for it. Yeah? Nusuk will say it's illegal what I've said. So I'm telling you that it's not guaranteed by them. They've said we don't care. That's what you're buying. But we will try our best. Don't worry.
That's fine. Inshallah, everything will go okay then. Thank you so much for everything.
Let's try again, Ibrahim. Let's see if it works this time.
Assalamu alaikum. Coming through?
Yes, I can hear. Go ahead.
So just a quick question on the on the bank recommendations again. So you put Wise down for Canada but not UK. Is there a difference between the services from there to here?
Yes, because it's Starling and the like is just so much better. But there's no problem if you have a Wise card to use the card. Remember, we're not doing bank transfers with these banks here, so you got to have a card. Most people don't get a Wise card, but if you have one, absolutely you will. You can use Wise, but just found Starling and Monzo better.
Yeah, it was just that I had already put the money in that account. I didn't want to go and make another one.
Listen, forget Wise. Even Revolut, I'm saying not give up on. Right? Even though I hate Revolut, and Dr. Abid loves it. Okay, me and him always end talking about it. He loves it, and I can't stand it. And he didn't have good positive experience with Starling, and I absolutely love Starling. So Revolut still is not in the trash bin. Let it work out. If you put your money in Revolut, don't touch it for a couple of days. Everyone who's using Revolut, do not do anything. Let them sort this mess out, because everybody's got their money stuck. So just wait.
And also to add, you said when you're doing the payments, to get on a live chat with the bank while you're doing it?
Yes, 100%.
For both payments, if you're doing it in two tiers.
Correct, correct.
Cool. Right.
Plus the pre-call before you make any payments.
All right, yeah.
All right, bro. Yallah.
Please go ahead for Hannah.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
For Hannah.
So I have just two queries. One, I find myself in a bit of a complicated situation, but I think maybe you're, from what I've been like speaking to your admin team and whatnot, I guess your program caters for it. Basically, I'm a resident of the UK and my husband is a resident of the USA.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, so I just wanted to know how that works, because I think earlier on in the seminar...
Let me explain to you, right? You both want to be in the same room. That's how it should be. You both are going to buy have separate accounts, because that's the only way you can. People on different nationalities cannot be together. So he'll have an American Nusuk registered account verified. You will have a British one registered, verified. You are going to buy a single double place. That's the only thing you're going to buy in your account. One double place. He's also going to buy one double place. Afterwards, when you fill in our form, we're going to put you together in the same room, inshallah. It's the same program. You're going to be together all the time. Now, obviously, you're going to fly in from the UK on the flight you saw. He's going to fly in from JFK on the flight that he saw. If he doesn't want to fly by himself and wants to fly with you, he can do that. You know how? By paying the money. He's going to have to buy his own flight to come to London. He's going to have to buy his own flight to go on your flight, which is very, very risky and very difficult.
That's what I was going to say, because I mean, I think you mentioned earlier in the seminar about, it's better to buy the packages with the flights as opposed to...
And use them. There are a lot of people that are going to want to burn flights. I want to say to you that it is not easy to buy flights in the Hajj season, right? It's not easy. And so it's just best to meet people in Medina and leave them in Jeddah and meet them somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like, best not to mess around the system. But the option's there. If you want to, if he really wants to travel with you and come back to London after, sometimes maybe you guys were going to go elsewhere. So, for example, just give you an example. Let's say you want to go to Malaysia for a holiday afterwards. You would burn the return leg of your London flight. He would burn the return leg of his JFK flight. You both go to KL, and then you guys fly back to London, and then you go back to whatever. All of this is very flexible, no problem at all. But you've got to stick to the package that you purchase. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, that's fine. And then the other thing is, and it might be worth just getting in touch with the AE Telegram, but his application keeps getting rejected. And again, it's been rejected for the same reasons, that basically his name is an issue. We can't.
He is in touch with the chief, with Hajj AE Help.
Well, we have emailed them, and essentially
what's his name? What's his name?
His name is Burema Edward Zerbo. So Burema Edward is his first name, and then Zerbo. So
he needs to get in touch, because he's not been in touch. He needs to be
exactly.
in touch.
I told you, Farhana, that I don't think that you've been in touch, and that's what we've been saying. You've got to get in touch with him to sort it out.
So in touch with whom? Because we've been in touch with Nusuk. So the support.
Hajj with AE Help. How many times have you seen this message?
Okay, Hajj with AE Help. That's what I need to do. Okay, I'll take a screenshot, because I've tried different, like...
You don't need to do a screenshot. I will send it to you directly. Just chill.
Right, inshallah. Okay.
All right, 1 hour's time. All right? Yallah.
Jazakallah khair.
Yeah.
Please unmute yourself, Hussein.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I know you've answered this. You've answered this question numerous times over your seminars, but I just wanted to clarify. Would you recommend making card payments to top up the e-wallet in increments of 5, 5, 1, so 5k, 5k, 1k, or just one just payment?
Like I said.
Okay.
Did you see the payment slide?
I did, yes.
Yeah, so that's how I would do it, like I have told you. So an opening payment, and then one big payment, and then a second remaining payment. That's how you should do it. All right?
Okay, Jazakallah, Sheikh.
Yeah.
Please unmute yourself, Faiza.
Assalamu alaikum. So I have a quick question in regards to, because I heard the first part about the quota and how the UK quota runs out really quickly. So since I have an Italian passport, can I get through the Italian quota? Is that possible? But sorry, forgot to say that I currently live in the UK. And
are you
Faiza, the time that I've spent on the phone with you, bro, you're going on the UK passport, man.
No, I'm not verified yet, but I'm just thinking about different options.
Anyway, you can't go from Italy anyway. As it stands, it's too risky. You can't go from it right now. You only focus on your UK passport, following the chief's instructions. Keep him updated.
No, I don't have a UK passport. I have Italian passport.
I think residency on your Italian passport. Keep going with the chief. Keep maintaining that. He's doing everything that he can to get you verified. Stick to the plan.
So now my question is actually not obviously changing anything at this point, but it's really like once I am verified, and let's say, hopefully not, but let's say that I can get through the first phase because the UK quota runs out. Is it possible in the second phase to go through? No, it's not. Okay.
I don't think so, because you've now registered by the UK, and so you theoretically, according to Nusuk right now, would not be able to get then an Italy.
Okay. Yeah. That's all I wanted to know. Okay, thank you. Jazakallah khairan.
Yeah.
Please unmute yourself, Shamiullah. I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
Assalamu alaikum. Jazakallah khair for the very good explanation for all the things, whatever you've done so far. Quick question. I mean, two questions. One, I think since one of the sisters mentioned about my wife is from Germany, but she lives here in US. So obviously, I don't think I have to worry about it, and I already got verified for myself and my wife. The question is, when we are leaving, how is the room? I mean, if we get the double room, does it? I mean, I think you kind of answered that we will stay in the same room. That is one. Yeah. And the other one is about the package itself. When is the latest that we are expecting the package to be released? Because I have a credit limit of $8,000 in my credit card, and I'm using that, and I started already loading my e-wallet because I need to pay the money in my credit card so I can fill up again and keep doing that.
So you're buying it from America. So let's assume like let's assume $15,000 just for this discussion. So that would be $30,000. And if you have a credit limit of $7,000 or whatever, then that's needing at least 5 clean days of funding. Agreed?
Yes, technically 47575 I can do that. So 4.
Okay, you have at least 13 days before the packages go live.
Okay.
At least 13 days. You have 2 days left where you will know the exact total that you need. You have no problem with time.
I already loaded 26,000 Riyal, so I'll keep loading it.
No problem. Enjoy yourself. Take it easy.
Then.
Take a day off.
Okay, Jazakallah khair.
Please unmute yourself. SA.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Thank you very much for your time and your efforts. I'll accept them. Just a quick question from me. One is basically from my wife who's pushing me to ask this question, so I'll ask it anyway before I get in trouble. You know, the packages, when we're trying to buy them, would we have a better chance of it getting accepted the first time with your package that you've got, because we're hell-bent on that one, to go for the quad instead of the double? Not that we're bothered about it, but which one would be a better chance?
Number one, heaven bent. Okay. Yes. Number two, number two, that question is the $64 million question. And I'm going to reiterate a point I made earlier about stats. I told you, me and everybody, that we believe in a 1 in 5 formula. We have 500 odd spaces plus minus. That would mean that if we had 2,500 people that were interested in buying, then that would be 500 spaces available. 2,500. Clear so far?
Yeah.
Right. Everybody listen carefully to what I'm saying. Everybody listen carefully. The channel is not what you are using as your measure. If you look at the channel, there's 1,300 people in there. All of you know how important this call was. Look at the amount of people who are currently in this call right now. Look at the number that was there at the beginning. Go up and read the messages and see how many people are actually reading the messages. The channel is not the one you're measuring it by, it's the chat. The chat are the committed people, those who are focused, those who want it. How many people in the chat? There's 800, 900 odd. Apply the 1 in 5 rule, and you've got hundreds of spaces available at the moment. Now, if you look at that, and I was going to use this measure as a way to determine what ought not be bought, I'd be the stupidest person on the planet. Look how subjective it is. Look how non-evidence-based it is. So what is going to be the solution for us? It's going to be the polls. Like I said in the previous webinar, I'm going to place my trust in the honesty of the people, and it hasn't moved down so far. I will be asking very directed, very specific questions on a poll. I will say, only Americans to answer this. Only the Irish to answer this. Only Europeans to answer this. I want everybody to answer this. What room do you want? And then I'll be asking specific questions, and each time I do, I want everybody to answer it, lead program only, and speaking for the number. And that will give me the numbers that I want. And with enough time left before the packages go live, allowing everybody to change their configuration, and allowing them to put more money in if necessary. If I will say, right, folks, there's way too much pressure up on the quads. I think that about 100 of you need to switch to a double. And there'll be like 100 people there that say, yeah, definitely, we'd come in a double, we'll pay the extra. And then there'll be the opposite. After I've done my analysis, and I'll give you like about 4 or 5 days. I'll give you enough time. Why do I need to give you 4 or 5 days? Because you need to go onto your portal and change it. And you might also need to fund it a bit more, isn't it? So we might see people that are packing up the doubles. And I'm saying, guys, this doubles is not looking hopeful. You need a few people to consider quads. So just be patient. Everybody's got to just hold it down. And when the polls come out, you answer them and then leave the analysis to me. And then I will start telling you guys, target this, target that. And it's possible within a few, I want to say about 10 days time, I'll even know the exact number of double rooms and the exact number of quad rooms. If I have that information with the information of how many people want them, I can give you very accurate information. So please stay calm. Inshallah, we're going to get to it. Now, it's using the sums that we've said so far to give you a rough idea of how much to put into the e-wallet. Start now and wait for the confirmed in a couple of days. Aim for the higher one. That's what you put in.
I'm sorry, SA, I muted you temporarily just because we were getting feedback. But if you hadn't, are you?
Jazakallah, Sheikh, that made clear sense. Appreciate it. Jazakallah very much. I just have one other question on there. When it comes to the purchasing the packages, let's say it goes live now, there's a lot of, not from you yourselves, but other people that we know saying that they're logged on to 2 different accounts, 3 different accounts, 4 different accounts. Is that because they couldn't log on to 3, so they've logged on to somewhere else on another laptop or something? Is that what they've done? Or can you...
3 accounts? You mean 3 people logged in into the same account?
Yeah. That's what...
Yeah, that's what you mean. Yeah, that's quite fine. And I'm going to be, my next strategy meeting when it comes to buying, we'll go into that. Don't worry about that. That's not relevant now.
Inshallah. Jazakallah very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Please unmute yourself, Awaz.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salam.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So basically, I'm actually flying abroad this Saturday evening.
Yeah.
And so I don't know whether it would be best to just wait for the packages.
How long for?
For a week.
Yeah, if I'm you, you'll know the prices by Wednesday almost definitely, and then you'll make your first payment on Wednesday, and then you do Thursday and Friday as your second and third payment. That's it.
So by first payment, you mean like the 200 Saudi riyals?
Yeah, a little tiny one, and you can even do that now if you want, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And you can actually, what am I saying? Scratch what I just said. Firstly, tomorrow, you're going to have that conversation with your bank and say, this is who I'm paying. Get ready. I'm making a test payment. Put 200 in. All goes fine. Then you're going to put in a big payment, like 5, 6, and then another one. You can do that the same day in the evening, but with the bank on the phone, and then the next day. And by the time that you come to make the second big payment, you'll know that price, and then you just take it to that level.
Yeah, so I'm thinking of going for a quad. So how much more shall I add? Because I do remember
1,000, 2,000 riyals. Nothing more than that. That means that you're paying, like you're losing about I want to say 20 quid, on the refund. No, we said 20 quid on 3,000 riyals. So if you put 3,000 riyals extra, when you get it refunded back, you're losing 20 quid, which is all right, in my opinion.
Yeah, so you mean that's when the actual package is released and I know exactly how it cost.
Correct. 3,000 extra just to be on the safe side, correct.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Please unmute yourself, Mahbub. Mahbub, if not Mahbub, then Shaliza.
Assalamu alaikum. Sheikh, I have a question, and thank you so much for your advice. I did re-upload my information, and it was verified after a few other steps. Alhamdulillah. Question for you: I need a plan B. Is there, if we don't get your package, inshallah, is there another Albayt package that's in the same vicinity or with the same sort of travel?
There will be, and it will take me a clean week to assess it because I take that very, very seriously. It's an amana on my head, and I don't look to loyalty or friends or X or Y. I will be considering the closest, the most beneficial program. That will take me time, but I will be telling that. Don't worry.
Okay, inshallah.
All right. Sayyid, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
Thank you, Sheikh. You mentioned that to avoid, if possible, Musafir.
Yes.
I didn't quite understand what the alternative would be. Here's the question is, I'm going to be traveling from the US. I was thinking, would it be possible to buy a flight package from Doha to Madinah and then, that way? So I travel to Doha on my own. And then the flight package would be from Doha to Medina, and then from Mecca to, flying out to Doha. Is that possible?
It is possible, absolutely. But I want you to understand, why a person would do that, or I want you to understand the consequence. This means that American, i.e. you, is not buying in the first stage the JFK flight when it goes live. Is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, hoping that when he gets his chance a week later, that there is still something left in the US quota. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And that is a massive risk.
Right, I got you.
And that's the reason why we tell people that, because there are many expats that are in the same situation, right? They're actually in the Emirates right now or in Doha and so on. And they can only apply for Hajj using their UK passport, but they're not even going to the UK. So they have to buy the UK thing at the beginning and not even use the ticket. And then they're going to buy a ticket from Doha, like you were saying, and they would buy that themselves. And that's different to your scenario. You're not saying that at all. You're saying that I actually want to wait until the second stage because I don't want to buy the expensive package with the ticket that I'm not going to use because I'm going to be in the Middle East. That's theoretically correct. And it's possible that you might get a new release of visas, but you are hoping for that to happen. It's a very risky approach.
Would that, well, if you go buy the flight portion through the with the package, then you're not avoiding Musafir, are you?
If you buy in the first phase a package with the group flight, you are not using Musafir. You are using Al Bayt's flight, correct?
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
That's the cleanest. This is why I said at the beginning, if you were saying, what's the mindset? The Westerners they're happy to pay more for the least headache, cleanest, least involvement in dodgy stuff, whatever. Just take my money, and it costs more, but you get peace of mind. You get a definite place. You don't risk the quota. You're not playing games. You're not hanging around for another week. It's stressful, man. I'll tell you, it is stressful. That night and the week after, and it's stressful. Get over and done with, turn your computer off, take a holiday, man, from this bloody Nusuk Bakwas. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got it. Just
all right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Swabeto, I muted you because I could get the feedback. Swabeto, if you unmute yourself, you can ask your question. No? Okay, carry on with that.
Please unmute yourself, Abdullah Najib.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Jazakallah khair for the presentation. My question is that you mentioned that the package purchasing date of the 9th of February will probably be delayed. Could you please clarify?
Don't know about probably, but I think it will be.
Yeah, could you clarify when the new date, if it is delayed, is likely to be announced, or how long the delay might be?
I reckon on the Thursday, whatever that would be, 5th, is it? 5th of February or the Friday is when they would announce it and say we're not going ahead on the Sunday, or we are going ahead on the Sunday, or it's been delayed a week. As it stands, they're sticking to their guns, They're saying the 9th. But I reckon they'll delay it. But they'll give us a couple of days, definitely.
Yeah, okay, jazakallah khair.
All right.
Yeah. Please unmute yourself, Munawwar. Munawwar, please unmute yourself. If not Munawwar, then Ali Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum salam, Ali.
I'm dialing in from Botswana in Africa, and on our Nusuk in Botswana, we don't have many options on our what packages we could choose. Is it possible to buy one of your packages and burn the flight and meet you in Medina?
So, did you hear my answer to Amrul earlier in the piece?
Yes, but the thing is that we aren't able to see any European packages.
At the moment, neither can he. So
Okay.
the answer is actually the same for you. Now, what I want to say is, do you actually have an Al-Bayt option in Botswana?
No, we don't have any Al-Bayt options.
So I actually didn't even know. You're the first person, and welcome. You're the first person from Botswana that we've had that I knew that was in Nusuk. I didn't even know Nusuk was your system. So that is definitely the case, yes?
Yes. We've applied. I'm verified. My wife is not verified yet.
On a Botswanan passport?
Yes.
So who's offering packages then? That means that somebody's offering. Who?
Sira.
Sira has one. Okay. All right. So what I want you to do, I want you to message me. You're in the chat, aren't you? Yeah?
Yes. Yes.
Right. So message me on my Big Easy account. Yeah?
Okay.
And I am going to speak to the brass at the top to see how we can make your you see, if Amraul is listening, he's thinking, what the hell is going on? Why is he getting special treatment? I'll tell you why you're getting special treatment. Amraul actually has an Al-Bayt alternative.
Okay.
Right? You don't. So theoretically, they might be able to do something. I don't know, but I will speak to them. And if they are, then yes, it means exactly what you said. You would buy the London package as the cheapest offering, and you would buy your own flight and either go to London and use that, or you would just go and make your way to Saudi and avoid and burn the London flight. Yes.
Okay, that's perfect. Inshallah.
All right. We'll let you know, inshallah. We'll let you know. Message me though. All right, bro.
Please unmute yourself, Munawar.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Super beneficial webinar today. I had a quick question around what time the packages go live. So I'm based in the UK. Just want to know what time I need to be sitting on my laptop.
Last year was 8 p.m.-ish.
8 p.m. Okay.
Yeah, UK time. And they will let us know though.
Okay.
They will let us know. I mean, I wouldn't read too much into it because then they tried to. Then when it crashed, then they told everyone that we're going to do it at 3 a.m. or something like that. Or 1 a.m.
Okay.
Crazy. But they let us know. They do let you know.
Okay, Jazakallah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Please unmute yourself, Bushra.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I just have a question which probably has been answered before. I've understood everything else. I think the one thing that I've just a bit confused on is the difference between shifting and non-shifting. I'm going to go with AE regardless. I just wanted to better understand, like, if you was to define it, what's the main difference between the two?
Wallahi, the main difference between the two, so this is obviously irrelevant to us because ours only works as a shifting program. But if a person was in non-shifting, right? Why don't I actually show this so that people can, once and for all, how do you do this? So I need to go to this. Yeah. So look at this here. All right. So if you look at this program here,
yeah,
I can't enlarge it unfortunately. So, but it basically says, okay. So this is the 4th of Dhul Hijjah. Okay, this day here. All right. Mm-hmm. And if you look at okay, sorry. Yeah. So this is the 3rd of Dhul Hijjah last year. And if you look at the bottom, we left for our base camp, which people call shifting. We shifted on the 3rd of Dhul Hijjah. If you've seen, we're basically 4 days into our Makkah hotel. Ignore these, but basically we've now stayed 4 days in this Makkah hotel, super expensive. And now we're moving to our building that we like and we love. And, this is our building. And we shifted and then we remained there 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. And then we went to Mina. And then you're in Mina, then the day of Arafah, then Muzdalifah, then back in Mina, then back in Mina. Then you start to go back to your Mina, your shifting building. Okay? And in these days here, you go back to your shifting building during the days that you're here. That's shifting. Okay?
Okay.
You're staying in 3 places. You're staying in a Medina hotel here, you're staying in a Makkah hotel here, and then you're staying in your Azizia place there, which you have all the way through the days of Hajj, you have access to it. If you are a non-shifting, then when we went to our building closer to the Jamarat and closer to the Mina and everything, you actually stayed where you were. So you're going to stay, and 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 you're going to leave here. So on this day, you're going to leave from your 5-star hotel next to the Haram, where it's not possible to have any program, it's not possible to have any study, it's not possible to have any community, which is very important in our group. But what you do get, though, of course, is that you're praying every single prayer in the Haram. And for a person that wants that to be their priority in the Hajj, that they want to pray every prayer in the Haram, then this is perfect for them, because they remain in that and they never go to Azizia or anywhere else. They're in that hotel, and this hotel remains, well, actually, it's not guaranteed. The prices will differ. So there might be that there is no hotel here, all right? And for some people there will be, but they basically remain here. And then they go to the days of Hajj. Now for us, for us to pray your maximum prayers in the Haram is absolutely not the peak or the obligation or the focus. When it's time to, it will be. But when it's time to prepare for Hajj, which I want everybody to get ready for, then that's why we shift. That's the difference between shifting and non-shifting. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes complete sense. Thank you. So the main difference is that we'll have that time to seek knowledge and prepare for the main part of Hajj.
Exactly. Go and do site visits. So take people to Jamarat and give them a feel for, what actually happens. Show them, the kind of places and distances. And that's why the people who shift have a far more meaningful experience, a far more enjoyable experience, whereas those that are non-shifting have a far more Western, sanitized experience, is easy the way I can say, which they want. And that's okay if they want that.
That makes sense. Jazakallah khair, Sheikh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Please unmute yourself, Osama.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. So nice to hear from you. Being patient over the last few days had been tough. You cannot imagine. Well, I'm sure you can imagine, but yeah, it was first time for me. This year, inshallah, myself, my wife, and my mother-in-law, the 3 of us, inshallah, made the niyyah. From there on, it's all on Allah, whether we reach there or not, inshallah. So my question to you is, because my mother-in-law, she's from Pakistan, and she speaks like Urdu, Punjabi. That's her obviously native language. I mean, for English, for myself, my wife, is not a problem, but she was a bit hesitant, going with these packages. Whether she'll be able to comfortably enjoy and have a good experience. I know you flash up on the screen that the team you've got, they're all bilingual, mashallah. I just want to make sure, is there because obviously you'll be speaking in English, and she would be interested to to understand and all of that. So what sort of provisions you're thinking, or anything in your mind?
Yes. Barakallah fiqh. The provision is Usama Sarwar. MashaAllah. What a mujahid he's going to be in this Hajj. What a mujahid he's going to be. His wife is going to love him forever. Because Usama translated for his mother-in-law. He broke all of the cultural stereotypes that the sons don't like their mother-in-laws. He destroyed the lies that the people make against us, that we don't help and support our mother-in-laws. You're going to be sitting there explaining everything every day. You're going to do 1 hour summary session. You're going to say, that we covered this today, that today, and your wife's going to be looking at you like this. Big eyes of love hearts. And you're going to come out of this, not just with a Hajj, but another 30 years of egg paratha, aloo paratha in the morning, and gosht in the evening, any type that you want. Lala, I think that you're onto a winner, man. I think that you struck gold in this Hajj. And if that's not enough, then I can tell you that Abid Sami is going to be delighted to be chatting Punjabi with your mom every single day.
Oh, no, that's amazing, and yeah, I know. But my wife just saw some of your videos, and she was like, "Oh no, you know this? I didn't know about you before this Hajj. I'll be honest with you." And then I had a different thing in my mind, but then she said, "Oh, he's our neighbor. Like he goes to Cheadle Mosque, so I live in Altrincham, so it's not too far." So I was like, "It was."
But you don't know me. I don't know you. Listen, don't you get
No, I'm just joking. Yeah, but yeah, no, Jazakallah khair.
I'm in the Cheadle in Stoke. There's another Cheadle in this country.
All right, thanks.
Jazakallah khair, Usama. Barakallahu fi. Assalamu alaikum.
Then meet yourself, Shazia.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for taking my question. So my first question is about Azizia. Are there any doubles in Azizia, or are there those only quads?
Only quads, and also they're divided by gender. So all the men and women get split up. All husbands and wives, everyone gets split up. Very close in the same building. Very, very thingy. Did you see the video today? Basecamp video?
I have not yet had the time to watch that. But what I have read it in the questions, it's like there's going to be one level for men and one level for women.
Exactly.
Okay. So we are staying, inshallah, most of the days in Azizia, which are 9 days, by the calculation that you have just shown us.
No. 9 days is the period that we have the Azizia building.
I see.
Most of the time is going to be in Mina, like all the rest of the other Hujjaj. So you will go. So imagine that we arrive on the 6th of Dhul Hijjah. Okay, let's just go one by one. Okay? 6th of Dhul Hijjah. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, of Dhul Hijjah. When you arrive on the 6th to the Azizia building, you will stay there the 6th and the 7th, and on the 8th, you're going to, my thing's gone blank.
Mina.
On the 8th, you're going to go to Mina. On the 9th, you're going to be in Arafah. On the 10th, you're going to come back to Mina. On the 11th, you're going to be in Mina. And on the 12th, you're going to be in Mina. And on the 13th, you're going to be in Mina. And then you're going to, by the evening, you're going to be back in Azizia. And on the 14th, you're going to be in Azizia. So I want you to see that actually staying in the Azizia is only for 3-4 days. During this 9 days, because the building is close, you're going to be going back and forth whenever you need to. But staying is only 2-3 days at the beginning and 1-2 days at the end.
So a supplementary question to it. So if we are far from Masjid al-Haram, if you want to go there, you have to walk 1 hour, minimum of 1 hour, depending upon how fast you walk.
Correct. Wait, and 1 hour. Oh, you mean from the Aziz? From the Azizia, correct. But just so that you know, where we are this year, taxi options are going to be very good. Be expensive, but taxi options will be very good.
So just stepping back a bit. So how far are we from Mina or from Muzdalifah or from Arafah? Are we central to all 3 locations?
Yes, we are central to all of the locations, which is why I chose that location.
So it is a walking distance.
Walking distance, in our Rism Riwaj, walking distance is 5 minutes away. When we talk about walking distance in Hajj, it's a different definition. It means within 1 hour. Within 1 hour, you can walk there. This is what walking distance means. Within 1.5 hours, you can walk there. Within 2 hours. This is what walking distance means in Saudi. It does not mean what we understand by walking distance. Okay, this is very important because I'll tell you why. Because when you look and you see it's going to take 1.5 hours, and then you look and you see the bus, and you say the bus is going to take 20 minutes, and you choose the bus, actually you'll realize that the bus will take 3 hours. Therefore, you'll then realize that 1.5 hours really is walking distance. So much about, you understand what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yes, it is completely subjective, these phrases. Walking distance is always about the busyness of the day. So for example, if we are there in Basecamp in Azizia building on the 7th of Dhul Hijjah, and you said, you know what, I'd like to go and make, I'd like to go to Haram today. I want to pray Maghrib in Haram today. Yeah. And I will say, okay, then this is obviously an hour and a half walk, for example, but get yourself a taxi, right? It's too far to walk. 2 days later, on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, I will be thinking you are completely pagal if you decided to get in a taxi. I would say this is 100% great place to walk. And the only thing that happened was 2 days went past and the roads are blocked and the taxi is going to charge you 500 riyals, which is £100, and he's going to take 2-3 hours to get there, if he is even getting there. The worst part is that he'll take your money and you say, I can't go anymore. Look, the police have blocked the road. Look, I've been sitting here for half an hour. And you're going to be frustrated. You're going to say, forget this. I'm going to walk. So do you understand what I mean? Every time that I will tell people, get a bus, walk, get a taxi, every time I say it, you should listen to me when I say it.
So how would you do that Tawaf-e Afada and the Tawaf-e Wida then? That if you are in Azizia, you have to walk that distance and then go do another 7 kilometers of walk?
Correct. My recommendation will be the toughest day of your life, that you would do that walk. That's the reason we have the base camp, so you can rest. And you rest, sleep, shower, whatever. Then you do the walk. Then you rest. Then you do the tawaf. Then you rest. And then you get back to the Azizia. There'll be, and then I'll be telling people to get, there'll be buses. There'll be taxis. And those options, I'll be advising based upon my analysis of the routes that they'll be taking and the cost that they'll be making. Then you'll be rest if I tell you to rest. And then you're going to have to get back to your Mina tent as well. By the way, everybody will be in the same boat when it comes to like this. Everybody. It doesn't matter whether you're shifting, not shifting. On the day of Hajj, everybody will walk more than they have ever walked in their life. And you need to mentally prepare for it, and you need to physically prepare for it. And both of these mental and physical preparation, we're going to spend the next 4 months doing this. 4 months of exercise and planning. We take this very, very seriously. And I want you to know you cannot escape this, whatever package or program you are on. Whatever package or program. The only way that you can manage this is if you look to what options are available. And if I see, and they are available, by the way, in some places, in some locations, they will have a bus going, they'll have this, sometimes legal, sometimes illegal, sometimes yes, sometimes no. When we arrive at base camp, you will see me present on a screen the strategy of our next few days. Don't worry about this now. I will be telling people how we're going to do it. You've got to worry with making sure that you are physically prepared for everything. When we get there, it's my job to choose the easiest route for you. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. So one more thing. So we'll be taking off to go home from Azizia then?
Yes, correct. We will be leaving immediately after the Hajj from Azizia.
And those will be paid for buses that will be taking us to the airport?
We will all be going as a group.
As a group. Okay. Just last question about the washrooms. I know you just alluded to them right in the beginning of your presentation. The washroom situation in Muzdalifah and Mina.
Nightmare. Not Mina, Muzdalifah. Horrible. And I will have a strategy to get through that. That's everybody, by the way. Everybody is coming up with some kind of plan for Muzdalifah. We will also have a plan for Muzdalifah.
Okay.
Mina, don't worry about. Mina toilets are nice now, mashallah. They're a lot better than what they used to be. Just need to have some planning. Don't go to the toilet before Maghrib, before Salah. Don't go at the busy times. Rest is very nice. They're not all the floor toilets. Now, majority are now the seats and then one floor option. I am a person, obviously, born in the West. I like the seat, just like everyone else here does. In Hajj, though, it's horrible to use. It's better to use the ground toilet. So everything sounds like what you have a plan before, but when you get there, your own opinion will start to change. Leave that to me. Leave that to me. Don't worry.
Thank you so much.
Barakallah feek, Sheikh.
Do you have someone here that has a period or a full stop for a name? If you could please unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I understand you might have covered some of the stuff about, especially about forfeiting your ticket or burning your ticket, but there's a group of us as a three, so me, my sister, and my husband.
Yeah.
And sister-in-law it is, and the sister-in-law of mine, she's not able to get full 18 or 19 days off from work. She's trying to see if it can get accepted. But in the meanwhile, what would be her situation? The maximum time she can get off is 2 weeks, whereas myself and my husband, we can get the full period from our work off, and we would like to, stay the full duration of the Hajj period you are offering. What would her situation be in this scenario?
Her situation is she's in the group with you. She's buying the same with you. You're the lead pilgrim. You're going to buy 3 spaces, including her. You're going to make sure that she agrees. And it's going to be the flight. That's the flight. It's not going to change for anybody. And right until the fat lady sings, she is going to try her very best. And even till the day before, she's trying her very best. And then, if it becomes clear to her that the fat lady has sung, it's game over for her. She can only come for 15 days, whatever day. Whenever she comes to that realization, she's buying her own flight back. Okay. And she's trying to get out. It will be heavily not advised, both from a quality and everything else. And I want to say that you would definitely get in touch with me during the so buying the package is not in doubt.
Okay.
You would definitely get in touch with me before or when she finds out that she 100% definite% cannot get more than 14 days.
Okay.
Then you contact me. Because what you don't do is take 4 days off the back end, right? We have to take 4 days off the front end.
Understood.
Because obviously the Hajj is at the back end. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, it's the most important days.
Yeah. And she needs to fly back with you guys and buy a single in. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I would guide her in that process.
Jazakallah khair. And just another question. So if, for example, in this situation, and I know you mentioned about the rooms and sharing rooms, if say the husband and wife want to get the double and they're able to get the double, her being in the third person, would she be able to buy a quad, or would it be easy for her to activate her own profile on Nusuk?
She's either going to do that, and if, by the way, have you touched your e-wallet yet?
Not yet, no.
Very good. That's the benefit of following instructions, you see. Because if you had, you wouldn't be able to do what you just mentioned. You couldn't separate her.
Okay.
Or it caused a problem for her anyway. So, yes. Both that is an option now. If you want to stick to a double and you want to go for the double all the way, then you de-link her. You go into my profile, my family, manage family, de-link her. She now gets her own single thingy, sign in, blah, blah, blah. She then gets her own place as she wants in whatever room configuration she wants. She buys completely separate to you.
Understood. And on just going back to the app, then I've not seen a de-link. What I have seen is delete profile. So would that how it would work?
No, you don't delete profile. You de-link the person. Do not delete the profile.
Okay.
Now,
no, that's
not a problem. Yeah, listen. If you have a problem, then message me or message the chief on Hajj with AE Help. And she needs to do this today. You need to do this today. Because I have heard that some accounts, for some reason, are not showing a de-link option. I don't know what the bug is. It's a Nusuk bug. If it's clear that she cannot, and you lot are not willing to change you want to go to double, and there's an impasse, and we've got to get rid of her effectively from the unit, then it's not a disaster to delete her.
Okay.
And she would resubmit, and people are getting done in a couple of days if you've got a good, sensible photo taking, and not, silly kind of behavior. You get verified quite quickly, inshallah. But we don't want to do that. That's a worst case scenario. We want to delink.
Okay.
If it fails, then delete, and immediately she applies for a new account and tries to get verification, all the rest of it. All right?
And just one last question, Sheikh. Sorry, I apologize. I have a UK credit card which has no transaction fees for foreign currencies, and like MasterCard, for example, and provides me the best rate. Would I be best to use that credit card to top up my e-wallet when it comes to that situation, or would you still the preferred method that you've mentioned?
It's fine, but with all the caveats that I mentioned, speak to them first, do the first payment, be there with the second and the third payments, so all of that. But yeah, use your card. No problem.
And would I still be protected from that insurance benefit then from the credit card, then rather than doing a bank transfer?
Not my area. I hate credit cards. They're haram. Don't want to hear. I didn't hear what you said. Good luck to you.
Jazakallah khair.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Kamal.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. How are you?
How you doing, Kamal? You all right, yeah?
I'm doing good. Just a quick question about the flight from Toronto.
Yes.
I heard something, just wanted to verify with you. I heard if you have a connecting flight or a layover in Jeddah, you're going to have to collect your luggage before going to Medina. That this is for a non-tourist visa.
It's changed now, and we don't have any reason to believe that it will not be the case in Hajj as well. But now, alhamdulillah, it goes through to Medina. In December, I was there, and it went through to Medina. Also, you might be on the flight anyway. So,
did you travel with a tourist visa or a Umrah visa?
It was not dependent upon the visa. We had mixture of. I always travel on a tourist visa, but we had Umrah visa folks as well. Regardless, though, it doesn't matter. We'd have to get clarification for Hajj time anyway. We would never assume. We never assume anything for Hajj. They produce new rules all the time, so they might tell us that there is no luggage that is being thingy. You got to get it. But anyway, what's the problem? If we knew, and then it just means that you got to get your baggage and check it in.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's just, that's a small issue. But the thing is, if it's the time that it takes to collect the luggage, you might miss the flight to Medina.
So, yes, that's right. But so far, that hasn't happened. And we have had some really tight, 1 hour, 1.5 hour kind of layovers. And alhamdulillah, it's been all right.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to check because I was there not too long ago.
It's all about instructions. And in this group, mashallah, because as I said, people are very like-minded, they follow instructions. Now, what do I mean by instructions? We travel as a group. All the guides will be spread out, right? And you'll have official guides and you'll have appointed extra guides as well. Team leaders, they're called. And alpha group folks. And there will be appointed roles. And their job will be to be leaders and everybody else to follow them. And when people do that, then these things do not become a problem. It's when people are acting by themselves individually, that's when the problem starts. But as long as everybody follows my instructions, we won't have any problems, inshallah.
Okay, inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
Please go ahead, Ali.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. To speak to you, this is going to sound a bit creepy, but I've been following you for several years now. We just never managed to formally make acquaintance. So,
nice to meet you.
I've got, if you'll permit me, I do have a question on credit cards, which I know you believe are haram, which is fine. My teacher has a separate view, but that's by the by. If one were to make the payment partly out of the credit card and partly out of another card, is that an issue from a Nusuk perspective?
No, it's not.
Okay, perfect. That was the first one. And then the second is, you've given a really good outline of the difference between shifting and non-shifting, and also touched on the physicality of it, and I personally have done Hajj, alhamdulillah, in 2018 with a non-shifting program, and this year, inshallah, hoping to go with my wife, who's never done it. And so, but it does strike me that in your program, from what I hear, I've got a friend who did it with you last year, it is quite a physically intensive Hajj,
yes.
Just all things considered. Would you say that's fair? And if so,
it is fair, but here's the thing: we're the only ones who front up about it. Right? Every single program, every single one will be like that, right? But we embrace it, and we also give people the opportunity to not make it as physically problematic. Like you just said, physically shifting, physically intensive. Absolutely it is. But how do you think the 80-year-olds and the 70-year-olds with knee operations do the Hajj with us? Because they listen to me and they take the easy route. So for example, we will be following the general Hanafi outline when it comes to the actual actions of Hajj, right? It's what I prefer personally. It's what I teach. And all of the other madhabs love that as well. They just don't make it as important as the Hanafi school does. So all of the other madhahib like that, which is to get all the action done on the 10th of the Hijjah. But that's not an obligation. Meaning that there'll be some people that will be like, you know what, can we do the easy version? I'll say absolutely. And they won't have any physical intensity or physical mileage to do. They'll have a very easy Hajj, in fact. They will not need to walk to the Haram at all. I hope that Shazia is listening. Shazia Aman is listening. Because maybe she got a bit kind of also scared off by what I was saying. That I want people to know that I've been taking people for Hajj for donkey's years of all abilities, with physical disabilities, with wheelchairs that the other people are pushing, and then those that are driving their own wheelchairs, right? The guy, by the way, just so that you know, the Al-Bayts have taken on this kind of disability advisor bloke, Muhammad Sayyid. He was in my group last year, right? Ask him, the guy was whizzing around having a flipping time of his life, okay? My point is that people who can't walk one little bit are going to be able to do Hajj in my group, are going to be able to do Hajj excellently in my group. And the people who are the world's fittest people will be able to do Hajj in my group and push their levels of fitness to the absolute limits. Tell me how that makes sense, Ali. Tell me how it makes... Ali, listen to me. Tell me, for the love of God, how we took the captain of the Pakistan football team in 2024. Captain of the Pakistan football team. And we also took the captain of the Somali football team. Don't ask me why the Pakistani and Somali football team chose our programs. But they were in our Hajj programs, two genuine bona fide athletes. And they were both smashed at the end of it. Because they chose to do the most physical way. And tell me how the 80-year-old who got COVID and was a heart patient also did Hajj. Because it has nothing to do with shifting, non-shifting. It's to do with Islamic concessions. It's to do with fatwa. It's to do with advice. It's to do with, I'm telling you, you're not going there. You're going to stay here. I'm going to get you pushed there. I'm going to do the stoning for you. You're not going to do tawaf today. I am the boss. I tell what the people, what they do, what they don't do. When I see a young lad like that, I say, you lazy fish, you are walking, you are doing this, you are going to push him, you're going to do that, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. Everything will be tailored, custom, bespoke to what I see from their desire, from their physical ability. There'll be pregnant women who are 4, 5, 6 months pregnant, that are going to be with us. Everybody will be choosing what's going to be best for them. Why? Because they're going to be empowered with the information that I teach beforehand, during. They trust the process, they're going to be fine.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. That was
all right, bro.
Quite the pitch.
Barakallahu feek.
Well, yeah.
So, Sheikh, we have Meral, and I think that's the last person. I wanted to check in, see how you're feeling. If you, I to be honest,
I'm good, but we're going nearly 3 hours. That's all. They get upset. They say another 3 hours. Doc, he uses to hit me over the head every time. You're only for 3 hours each time.
But I do want to say, Sheikh, I'm usually by the, like, when we're nearing the 3-hour mark, I'm feeling like questions are starting to run out. And I have to tell you, this time I'm feeling a little bit sad because there have to be at least like 50 people that I haven't been able to unmute because of how many questions we're getting. So I don't know if
I'm good. I'm good. And listen, let's. Like I said, you know that I don't love Doc. Yeah, Doc is always going to. Doc's going to cuss me anyway. Whether all these people answer their questions and we go to midnight, he's going to cuss me. And if we stop right now, he's going to cuss me. The rain never hurt the wet one. Let's carry on. Anybody who needs to go to sleep, they can catch the recording. It's not rocket science, bro.
True, but we could also organize like a casual Q&A on another day.
Today is important, Sheikh. You can carry on.
Thank you, Doc.
Okay, I'm going to unmute Meral, and then I need to go pray Maghrib. So,
Danish, are you in?
I'm back. Yeah, I'm here.
Yalla, Danish.
Okay. So I've unmuted Meral. Please unmute yourself, Meral, and then Danish, please take over. Meral? Oh,
yeah. Okay.
Please
unmute
yourself.
Okay, Meral, go ahead. Unmute yourself. Try again.
Assalamu alaikum. I have 2 questions. Firstly, how much do we need to disclose a medical condition to you or to Nusuk?
Yeah, not to Nusuk. They couldn't care less. To me, absolutely. 100%. You heard my answer to the last question, isn't it? Yeah?
Yes.
That's why you need to let me know everything, because it affects me, it affects my team, it affects everyone. So I would ask you to message me now, meaning after the call, and then we'll discuss it. We'll make a nice plan, inshallah. We're going to have also a specialist session, maybe in a few days' time when everything calms down, after the packages have gone out. We need to do one more, then we'll have the medical one, inshallah.
Okay, my second question is, I'm in the US. You mentioned, I've gone through all the pre-recordings. You mentioned there's a session on May 4th.
Yes.
So do we travel to you or is it online?
No. It will be a nice program, very nice, like film, online. Yes.
Okay, so because my husband was freaking out, he's like, "Oh, you're
Tell
gonna travel
him
4 times to London."
Keep telling him that he has to go. Keep telling him, man. Just,
Okay, Jazakallah khair. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah, Rubina, go ahead. She's been waiting for some time. Go ahead, Rubina.
You need to unmute her, bro.
Oh, she's not unmuted. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, go ahead, Rubina.
Unmute yourself, Rubina.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, Rubina.
Just a quick 2 questions. Obviously I understand completely that everything is the qadr of Allah if we are able to go and if Allah invites us. Of course, unforeseen circumstances happen. I just wanted to know if there are any unforeseen circumstances closer to the time. Do we get a refund or how does that work?
Basically, closer to the time, you lose all your money. That's what the refund schedule said, right? If you look at the bottom of it's been printed in the groups anyway, and you'll see it when you sign into Nusuk and you click on any package, or it's at the bottom. It shows a refund schedule, and they've released their one for this year, which is a harsh one. It says any cancellation after the 20th of Ramadan, you lose 100% of your money.
So that could mean even if you fall unwell or even if anything.
Correct. Which is why in the next session, I'm going to be covering travel insurance.
I see.
Okay. I like doing things bit by bit because it overwhelms people. I know people, they think that, this is some Bendu set up. It's set up intentionally to try to manage the information flow because people can't deal with it. The next session is going to deal with travel insurance, which I believe is permissible and allowed to use in these scenarios. And hopefully, therefore, if anything happens, you're going to be okay. I will speak about it. I will recommend a couple as well. And alhamdulillah, I want to say that last year, there was a couple that 2 weeks before, they had a a death in their family, and he decided not to go, and his travel insurance covered him, and he's going this year, mashallah.
Okay, Jazakallah khairan. That's good to know. Just another quick one, and I'm sorry if you've already answered this. How much money do we need to top up on top of the cost of the package for any extra fees or anything like that?
Look, I reckon 3,000 riyals is good. It's got to be in riyals. You've got to think in riyals, and I want to say per person, 3,000 riyals. I think is where I feel comfortable.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
And just one more question. I would have reached out to you directly about this, but I'll just ask here in case anyone else has this question too. So, you know, for example, I don't mind going for a quad room. Me and my husband, we have no problems with that. It's just, like, say there's a wife in a quad room and there's a husband in a quad room, would we be in close vicinity? Is that the way you'd arrange it?
Yes, you can reach out like this through the window and...
No, I just mean, like, you know, no, sorry, that just sounds very cheesy and cliche. No, it's not for that reason.
Listen to me. I'm not going to let you live this for the next 12 months, by the way, Rubina. But I'm going to make sure that you go into one of these amazing rooms. Danish, you know what? We're putting Rubina into the room with the balcony, okay? And we're going to put her husband in the balcony underneath. And
look, I don't need a Romeo and Juliet situation.
In the night, we're gonna
as long as the AV team can get, you know, some B-roll shots, I think we're all happy.
Exactly, we're happy.
Sheikh, except in the dining hall.
No. Honestly, no. I was just asking because, you know, sometimes because I was considering to share with my husband, but, you know, I have like a health condition, so sometimes I may or may not need a bit of support. So I was wondering if I'm in close vicinity, I'd be able to speak with them or whatever.
Jokes aside, the reason that I absolutely love the 2025 Basecamp is that it's insane how close everybody is together in such a big building with so many people. It's like Basecamp perfection. It's 4 floors. No, it's 5 floors, right? And just to give you an idea, last year, 13 floors. Spanish, 13 floors?
I think it was 9.
9 floors. The difference between 5 floors and 9 floors, by the way, 1, 2, so 4 sets of stairs to get between a floor last year. This year, 2 sets of stairs. Tuck, tuck, like that. Bro, it's an incredible building. Husband's got nothing to worry about, you've got nothing to worry about.
Okay, Jazakallah khairan. I really appreciate it, and thank you for also, you know, adding humor in all of this. It does help us all, you know.
Bro, I don't see myself now, do I? I don't laugh with you lot, yeah? I swear to God, yeah, I drive any normal human being pagal. Humor is the only way we survive. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum.
Markaba was next. Oh, Altaf.
Yeah.
Is this our Altaf?
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Yes, Altaf, go ahead.
I've got family of 3 people going, and so would it be better to get a room of triple or quad?
I think so. Except if I see too many people going for triples. So when I do the poll, you will vote, and when I do the analysis, then you will make a decision. I will say those folks that are going for a triple, I'd consider this, that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But as it stands, you stick to your triple because the triple structure is not very common, right? It's not very common for 3 people to be in a setup. So it's doubles and quads that are common, but the triple one is not so common. So
if we were to go for a quad, would there be an extra person that would come?
Correct.
And would it be? Is it decided whether it would be a male or female?
What do you mean?
The 4th person that would be in the room.
be dependent upon who the people are in the room. I mean, if it's males, we can't stick a woman in there, can we?
Yeah, that's fine, Sheikh.
I think Sheikh, he was asking more about the fact that he'll be with his mom and maybe he has a sibling or a father. So where would everybody be, right? You know, like the whole you buy the room, the bed in the room, not the room itself, kind of discussion.
So Altaf, basically, so give me your room structure. Who's in there?
I'm talking on behalf of my dad. I'm talking on behalf of my dad, so it'd be my dad going, my mother, and it'd be my auntie.
Right. So this is what will happen, okay? So for your dad and your mom and your auntie, if they want a triple room, then in Medina, it's just these three in their own room. In Mecca, it's just these three in their own room. Then they go to Azizia. Your dad will go into a room with 3 other men, and your mom and your auntie will go into a room with 2 other women, and they will remain like that. Then in Mina, your mom and your auntie are going to be with 250 other women, and your dad is going to be with 250 men, and that's how it works. Make sense?
Yes, Jazakallah.
Okay.
Go for a quad, and then basically, you know, the 2 women will be in sharing with 2 other women, and the father will be sharing with 3 of the males. If you go for a quad room in Makkah, Medina.
Yes, correct. If you, as your family unit, right, Altaf, okay. So if you obviously you got your dad and your mum and your auntie. If you decided to buy quads, then your dad would be in a separate room with three other men, and your mum and your auntie would be in Mecca and in Medina in a room with 2 other women. Does that make sense, Altaf?
Yes, Jazakallah.
Okay, well, yeah.
I think Markaba was next.
Okay.
Okay, assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Assalamu.
I just have a few questions. I have a few questions. The first one is I have a sister that's in Saudi Arabia. She's gonna be coming back to Canada. So
Yes.
she came up with a good idea where she said she will pay our Hajj in SARs, and then I'll pay her back in Canadian, in her Canadian account, just to avoid the foreign thing. Would you still recommend that she takes all the precautionary advices that you gave, like calling in advance, doing in increments, or can she pay in a lump sum?
And she's going to be using a Saudi debit card?
Yeah, exactly, yeah, from her bank.
Yes, I would tell her to definitely get her bank on, because that would be a very strange transaction, both for the Saudi bank and definitely for Nusuk. They are not expecting at all any Saudi cards to be paying that account. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay, because it's Canadian. Oh, okay.
What do you mean? Yeah, because the program is Canadian. Yeah, so it's a conversation.
Program, yeah.
Yeah, it's a conversation with the bank that, you know, I want to make this payment into this in this account, and that's it. Yeah, you know. By the way, she's not making the payment. She's giving you the card details for you to make the payment, or unless you're letting her log in, which is.
No, I was gonna give her the IBAN number.
Oh, you mean do a bank?
So we were with another company originally we were with another company before we decided to go with you, and they were recommending that I give her the IBAN number, and then she would deposit directly from her bank.
That's actually a really, really good idea, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Because why? Because in the UK, when you have the IBAN of another UK account, that money is in their account in 2 hours. Danish in Canada, what's the transfer from Canadian bank account to Canadian bank account?
It can be, if it's like e-transfer, it's instantaneous. If it's wire, then might take a couple of days based on my experience.
No, let me clarify something, Sheikh. I think there's miscommunication, misunderstanding.
So she has Saudi riyals already. She's an expat in Saudi Arabia right now.
Exactly.
So she wants to come back to Canada. So she doesn't want to bring her Saudi riyals converted to Canadian and all that.
I know. That's what I understood.
Oh, okay.
She is going to use a Saudi bank account that has Saudi riyals, and she's going to transfer to another Saudi bank account because it's the IBAN that you're giving, which is Rajahi Bank, which is a Saudi bank. And therefore, Saudi bank transfer to Saudi bank transfer is a very quick, easy process. Of course, I love the idea.
Okay, perfect. I wanted to just double check with you on that. You had mentioned for the vaccine that you're, in one of your voice notes, that you're negotiating with companies. Are you talking to Canadian companies as well for the vaccine, or just the UK?
So I'll tell you something interesting. That negotiation would be with everyone. I haven't found a contact yet for Canada, but I just want to say that I spent, I don't know, not spent that long, but I went to effort to find a pharmacy that I thought that would be, good for the UK, especially the folks up north, right? And the guy said, yep, it's £50 that we do the meningitis vaccine for, and we'll do it for 40. And the way that he was making it out was like this was the deal of the century, right? And then everywhere I'm seeing in our group, everyone's doing it for 30 quid. So I wouldn't put too much, what's the word? I wouldn't depend too much on my negotiation skills. So I think that if you guys get access to a good deal locally, then you take it. Because I know that this guy that made me beg like a kebab to get him down from £50 to £40, he's not doing it for 30 quid. So if people are doing it for 30 quid, and there's no door number vaccines, by the way, these are obviously Western products, they're the same thing. So yeah, man, you see a deal, go for it.
Okay. My other question was, do we pray Eid Salah? The Hajjaj, will they pray Eid Salah or no?
It's not the Sunnah to pray Eid Salah. The Prophet ﷺ did not pray Eid Salah.
Okay, fine. Just wanted to confirm. I like Eid Salah. That's my favorite part of Eid. But
no, I like the Eid party more, and we're going to have an Eid party instead.
Okay, sounds good. And just confirming the SARs for Canadian, I guess the double, you said is 57,156 SARs?
Correct. It can't be, it will not be more than that. I will be shocked if it's more than that.
Okay, Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, Subhi, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Sheikh. Jazakallah khair for your time. I wanted to ask about when we should, if the scenario comes up, when is the deadline to kind of look for a backup? Should we be looking for, like, we have one on the side, and yeah, you understand my question. So
yeah, no, I think there's no deadline for the backup. I think the deadline's more on me, not for you guys. I think that I want about a week or 10 days. A week should be enough. I mean, I don't think that the people are going to delay their packages coming out that long. So I need about a week to 10 days to convince myself and to ask and research and check that I'm confident to put my name to something. I mean, you got to imagine, when I put my name to something, it's a big thing. People offer me stupid money, to put my name to things. Most of the time, it's cheap bloody perfume and Islamic abayas and that class. Yeah, all the time. Flipping open up social media, we'll pay you this, we'll give you that. I said, listen, I don't need your money, I don't want to put my name to something. So I'm willing to do it for a Hajj program, but it's going to come at a lot of research from me. So I need about a week at least.
So what I mean is, because you said around the 9th of Feb, I think you said that the package will be available.
Yes.
And if there's a scenario in which we don't get the package that we want,
yes,
when should we kind of apply for or choose the package that we've
sorry, you mean at the buying moment, like when do you make the call? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So in the next webinar or the webinar after that, when we come and discuss the strategy of D-Day, all right, the actual day itself, in that session, it's going to be a very technical session that's going to be really important for everybody to watch, because in it, I'm going to say and show what happens when option 1 is sold out. Because I told you, the program is not your problem. You might miss out on your favorite bedroom, but you will get a place in the program if you want to go on the program. Just might not be the room that you want, might not be the airport that you want. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah? Now, there has to be a set number of attempts before you say, right, there's too much time being burnt here, I'm going to go for my backup. You get what I'm saying?
That's exactly my question.
Yeah, and that will be a nuanced answer that will take a long time for me to develop, but I will develop it, right? Because the program that we choose is going to be important in that as well. Because if it's like, you know, a program that's going to be lots of availability in all of the different rooms, then you're not going to need to, then you're going to have longer in the first one. If it's a program that's going to itself sell out, then you're going to have less time in the, for example, my one. You hear what I'm saying? So this will be thought about. I know all the caveats. I know everything that I need to know. I know what happened last year. We might also know by then. So imagine I do a seminar on Friday, trying to, you know, be Jack the Lad and be as quick as I can, which would be stupid and immature from me. This should be done the Friday afterwards, actually. But imagine I did it this Friday, and then on Tuesday, Nusuk indicate that we're going to increase the visas to another 3,000 per country. That would change strategy entirely. You wouldn't go to a backup at all. You would go there and you would go AE quad, AE triple, AE double, Manchester, Manchester, Manchester. Then you'd start AE quad, London, AE triple, London. You get what I'm trying to say? Different strategy altogether. So we need time. We need Nusuk to put its socks up. We need to understand the other folks out there. Then I'll give the best options, inshallah.
The second question that I have is, initially I linked a family member with myself, but I think I'll need some guidance on how to delink before I put money into the...
Why guidance? Are you also not seeing the delink button?
To be honest with you, my family has helped me register. I've been verified. We've both been verified, but we need to delink now.
Yeah.
I need to have a look at that.
Yeah, have a look. It's pretty straightforward. And if there's not there, then ask the question on the chat, because there'll be people that have done it for you already.
Is anyone specific that I should contact?
No. Stick it on the chat, and if we see that there's nothing happening and no one's responding to you, then send me or the chief a message. Hajj with AE help.
Okay. Third question. You said that you were basically following something.
Say it again. Sorry. Say it again.
You said that you're basically following the Hanafi Madhab in terms of the Hajj procedure. Is it worth
the major things, because that's the safest, it's the most generally accepted, it's definitely the Sunnah. Yeah. So but all of the madahib will be given solutions. And
is it worth reviewing the fiqh on my own?
Absolutely. Anyone that spends time on the Hajj spiritually, generally, legally, fiqh, madhab wise, will enrich their experience. Because, you know, deen, the one thing about deen is that theory, it hits at a certain level, and then when you see it in person, even if it's an opinion that you don't follow, it hits at a different level. This is part of the Tarbiyyah program. I spend a lot of time teaching opinions that you might not like or want, just for the reason that I want you to see where it came from. So that when you go back, part of your Tarbiyyah in this program was that you've become more tolerant to other positions, because you become more stricter on other positions, because you have become more ethical in other positions. The whole point of the program is to develop education-wise, holistic, character-wise. So absolutely, the more you can put into specific areas and general areas, it will never be wasted. Reading and studying before Hajj, never wasted. And it also, by the way, I'll just tell you something else. I am shooting a bit early here, but I do have people that I choose to, I want to say, basically upgrade their experience. So there will be people that I will be testing along the way, and depending upon what I see from their ability, and their just their quality, I want to say, they then get put into, like you can say, an accelerated, advanced little kind of group that gives them an opportunity to either earn extra ajr or to have a more spiritual experience, put it that way. So obviously those are the folks that prepare most. Simple as that.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. And last question was, well, is actually, you kind of alluded to it, but I wanted to know more about the Tarbiyyah program, but I assume that there'll be another seminar on that. So as in, like, what is the whole program?
What the whole program is, so it is from the very beginning that this has started, is to break down errors and to replace them with an increased and more authentic and correct understanding of every single response and way to think in every single situation that person comes across. And so the Tarbiyyah has started. Those people who've understood this, then already this Hajj experience, they've learned a lot if they've been in our channel on many levels. They've learned, for example, the importance of following instructions, which is not something which practicing Western Muslims are very good at. They laugh at the groups that speak about Khilafah, for example. They write off Hizb ut-Tahrir and Muhajirun as comedians. The fact that they does not change the fact that what they built their da'wah upon was a very important part of the Islamic theology. It's about understanding the importance of helping other folks and putting them before yourself at a time where the only person that you think you should be protecting is yourself. And coming to the realization that you will never spend time helping other people and it will be to your detriment. You will have not believed that before. You would have only heard it in theory. This program so far already is showing that in practice. In the next few weeks, you're going to see even more in practice. The Tarbiyyah program is me very intentionally, Widad very intentionally, Danish, the team very intentionally, saying things, writing things, and dropping things at the right time, creating certain reactions, creating certain reflections, all in a very structured and very organized way that the rest of you folks are not even knowing what's happening. And sometimes you'll be able to see it in a very easy way, where it's part of a study program or a class or an experience. But most of the time, it's happening and you're not realizing it. Sometimes it's going to happen at your initiation. You're asking me specifically, I need to know where to send my child. I've got this option, that option. I need 10 minutes. Let's sit down. I'll say, come, let's walk and let's talk. That's the only direct. Other times it'll be indirect. This is the Tarbiyyah program. The entire Hajj is a shell allowing us to do all of this. Hajj is an incidental consequence. An incidental consequence. The good thing is that it's an obligatory, fantastic consequence, but it's not the be-all and the end-all, as I've been explaining. So I hope that gives you an idea of what the Tarbiyyah program is.
Jazakallah khair. Yes, so the hope is, inshallah, we benefit not only from the Hajj, but from the company as well. Finally, I just wanted to ask, the time we spend in Medina, how will we spend our time in Medina?
Did you see the thingy, the schedule when I covered it in seminar 1?
No, so this is the first time I'm joining this group and this chat. So anyway, okay, yes.
Yeah, so what you do is that if you go, when this comes out, this will come out on a YouTube playlist. And it's actually in this channel as well that you're in right now. If you go to the very top, you'll see live stream 1. When you play it, if you watch it and put it on a big screen, because it's YouTube so you can cast it, pause the video when I show you the schedule and you'll see the breakdown of what will happen in Medina from last year. It'll be very similar this year.
Okay, Jazakallah khair.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.
So it's Farhana, then obvious, then essay. Sheikh, I just have to step away. I need to go pray. Yeah? I'll be back.
Go.
Assalamu alaikum. Sorry, there's one question that I think I forgot to ask and people reminded me, and it's about sort of backup options. So just to remind you of the circumstances where, I'm in the UK and my husband's in the US. Obviously, your your package offers the program at the same time, but obviously we don't know what everything is qadar Allah. So say as a backup, if I were to go for, I think you mentioned it earlier as well that, you know, they might change the program, you know, closer to the time, and, you know, people can mix and match. So say, for example, I don't know, let me just, a name for like, for example, like Albeit, I select their package and he selects their package. Is there a possibility that we would be together if those changes were to come about?
So let me just explain. Your question is not actually very clear. So let me explain it from my angle, which would be more clearer, right? More clear. If you were going for this program here, you would be going for a double, and he would be going for a double.
No, it doesn't matter. We're happy to go with the quad. We're happy to go with the triple. It's just
One second. So, what's the worst case scenario here? You get your double. You say, "MashaAllah, I got my double," and he turns around. He goes, "Double sold out. American double sold out." Yeah. So, what are you going to say to him? You're going to say to him, "Now you're going to go for triple, right?" Then you're going to say you're going to go for quad. So there's now, and vice versa, if he got his place and you didn't. Mm-hmm. So you've got good levels of backup plans to make sure that you're in the same program. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Now, if for some crazy whatever that he didn't get in entirely, for example, and you did, right? Then you would have in your research, or he in his research would be trying to find another program that is similar in terms of its structure and its locations.
Yeah, that's the thing. We just want to avoid that, and I get it. Our circumstances are a bit difficult in this.
But you said avoid that. How are you going to avoid that? Then what's the next?
Like, as in, like, so I don't, you know, putting our eggs in one basket does run that risk. So I'm saying that, say for example,
it's the opposite. It's the opposite. Actually, it's this is your best chance. This is your best chance to be in the same program because you've got so many parameters. Now, you're saying instead, why don't we go for 2 different packages that don't even match in the first place? How is that a safer option?
No. I think earlier you mentioned something around how they, you know, I don't know what you said, but I know you said something along the lines of last year they did this, but right at the last minute, and there's a possibility that they might, you know, there's a 30% chance, and you know, it's increasing day by day that they might apply.
Yeah, what that is for people who are not in the US or Canada or whatever to join a program that is actually only for US, UK, and Canada. That's what I was talking about, and get a custom flight from their own country. That's what I was talking about.
Oh, so say for example, just like if I was to, I'm going to make this name up, but say there was a program called Chair, and that they were offering programs in the UK and they were offering programs in the US, but they're not the same. You know how your one is the same, their one is the same, but he books a custom package, so it goes with he's booking a package with Chair without flights.
Yeah.
Because he's intending to fly with us, and you know the timings and everything match.
Yeah.
Is it possible to kind of combine? Does that make sense? Does it make sense?
That would depend upon what that share is offering for its London package and for its American package, isn't it? That would depend entirely. And as I said, I don't know of another package that's a single package across multiple countries. I don't know.
No, you did say this, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there might be, but I just don't know it. And what I'm trying to say to you is that this kind of structure is your better chance versus you trying to get 2 different packages. There's absolutely no doubt about that. That's just common sense.
No, I know. I just want to know our options because right now I don't know what our options. I mean, this is our.
Okay, then I'll tell you your options. Yeah. Your options is to just do what I told you to do. You will start off with your preferred, both of you, and then you will go to the triple, and then you will go to the quad. there is no reason for you to be thinking that this is not your best set of 3 options. Because like I said to you, and this message is not getting home, neither to you and maybe other people as well. The program is not your problem. It is the quota. You don't get this. Like, it will not be that this program won't give you the space. No program will give you the space. So you talked about chair, right? Chair itself will not be able to give you a space because the quota will have run out. So therefore, your strategy should be all focused on the programs that you want and the strategy that you want for that particular program. Now, if you didn't get in, then you're in worst case scenario anyway. So then what would happen is that you hope that in the next phase, now that all programs quota run out, you're hoping that can it be possible that 2 things happen? 1, Nusuk allows the increase in visas, which could happen. Yes. And 2, that Nusuk allows people from outside of a country in the increase of the visas to buy their own flight and joining an existing program.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And that is not something to be depended upon.
No.
You only go to that in worst case scenario when you missed out. That's why it's not part of strategy. So put this away. You're just overthinking everything. You're stressing yourself out, and it's only going to confuse you more and more. Put it to the side. My point is that however I just answered this point, it actually wouldn't change what you would do in the first point anyway. Does that make sense? It wouldn't. You're only going to go to that if you entirely miss out. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay,
barakallah feek.
Okay, feek, barakallah.
Go ahead, obvious. Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh. I have a question. So I was planning to do the Mashayar only package where I would have only, Mina, Muzdalifah, Arafat.
Yeah, very basic.
Just that one.
Yeah.
Get my own flight, get, my own stuff and such, because I have a brother who lives in Saudi. So my question was, can I land anywhere, or do I have to land specifically in Medina or Jeddah?
You can land anywhere, yes. When you buy the Mashayar package, you can land anywhere. Yes, you can.
Okay. And the other thing is, so a while back, I saw the packages for Mashayar only. They were only for the Majar al-Khabsh camp, but not for Muasim camp. Is it possible to get Mashayar packages for Muasim camps too? Or just Majar al-Khabsh?
100%. Actually, it's very weird that there is Majar al-Khabsh only. The majority will be the Muasim. Just give it a week or so, you'll see it packed full of Muasim ones. Why? Because the people that go for the Mashayar ones are the ones who are saving money, right? And the people who are saving money don't need to be spending silly money on being in Majar al-Khabsh. So it will come out, don't worry. There will be plenty that will come out.
Okay. Right. Thank you.
Yeah, Muhammad Patel.
Assalamu alaikum.
Bro, what's happening?
Alhamdulillah, good. I just wanted to ask, you mentioned earlier about if, let's say, for example, you were really unwell prior to Hajj or something happened that meant that you couldn't go, or one of you couldn't go. Would it be possible, most likely, probably not, but would it be possible that you could nominate somebody to do Hajj on your behalf at that point, or no, because of the visas wouldn't be able to be issued and all that stuff?
Correct.
I thought that might be the case. So, all right, no problem. Jazakallah.
Okay.
I believe it's Farhana Ali. Who's next?
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
Okay. It's unrelated to the subject today, but I've been anxious about it. It's my first time and I'm single and I've never taken any pills. So every time I go to Al-Bayt website about this condition, they're just talking about pills. So let's say I don't take any pills and I'm menstruating on the 10th, 11th, and 12th, and I don't get to do the tawaf ifada. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Is my Hajj still count?
Yes, it does count. There will be a detailed seminar about this, giving you exactly how you'd prepare for this and what we would do about it, and how we will be recommending this approach actually to quite a few people as well. And that will be very, very important for us, this program. It's a very detailed kind of program when it comes to menstruation. So don't worry, one little bit about that. You don't have to be taking any pills, and just keep tight to the group. Make sure that you are here all the way. And then when it's the right time, then we will be having that session and some homework and some consultations, everything. It's a very detailed aspect of our program. Unique as well, actually, to our program.
Oh, okay. I guess that's all. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Muhammad Taha.
Assalamu alaikum and jazakumullah khairan kathiran for all your time. So I have 2 quick questions. First, do you know if American Express is supported for the e-wallet or no? No. Okay. The second question is, me and a friend of mine, we intend to go to Hajj together, and he's married. He planned to get his wife as well. So we are worried that, like, any one of us can buy the package, and the other one cannot because of the Hind event. So we were thinking to link our profiles together. Is it doable? Like, can I add him and his wife under my profile, or vice versa, so we can do a checkout at the same time?
Yes, and the options are absolutely you can. And here is what would happen. If you are in a family of 3, then your first option is to get 3 doubles. And this will mean that you will share with one other guy, and he will be with his wife in Mecca and Medina. And then when it comes to Azizia, then you and your friend will be together, and his wife will be with 3 other women. Is that clear?
No. So why 3 doubles? Like, we cannot select 2 double for him and his wife and 1 quad for me?
No. When you are in a family unit, you can only buy 1 type of bed.
Really? Because you have the option, like, to put whatever amount of beds.
Correct.
When you go. You configure the package.
Correct.
So I thought we will choose 2 double for him and his wife and 1 quad for me.
Correct. That's what you'd think. That's what you would hope. That's what you think. That's what you would have hoped. And Nusuk came along and does, yeah.
Okay. So either
only allowed to buy 1 type. So therefore, you now need to work out. So if we're 3 together, if we buy the double, then I go away, and these 2 can have the room, or me and my friend have the room, and she would then share with another lady. So this is if you get.
Or we can pick 3 quads, right?
Or you can pick 3 quads, and then you and your friend are together with 2 other guys, and she goes in with 3 other women. And you know that I'm like a big fan of husband and wives having a quad experience in Hajj. I'm a very big supporter of that. So
if we're doing shifting anyway and going as Azizia, so the split will happen eventually, whatever.
100%. And a lot of people just don't have the common sense. You know, they're still thinking very much with the Western mindset that, but we'd like a nice holiday. So let's at least have it, double kada in the.
I think this is a very good time to get a vacation from each other.
صاحبكم المصري تامر he was in the chat. You saw what he said in the chat, that he had a great time in the quad separate from his wife. They came, they both took the quad. أنتم مصريين خطير you love this opportunity. We know.
Yep. So one last question. So my e-wallet actually had funds from last year. It was 3 riyals only. I didn't touch it this year. I didn't top up anything, but is it gonna affect if
Yes.
I need to link him or he links me?
Yes, and I do not have an answer to this yet, by the way. Chief, any answers yet? I don't know if Chief's awake or not. He's probably fallen asleep. Yeah, I think he's fallen asleep this thing. I think this is an issue. I heard from the highest source that a person that's got money left in their account cannot add money or use it or something like that until it has been completely refunded and activated again. There is yes, there is definitely something there. So number one, make sure you don't put any money in. Number two, message me tomorrow because I'm tired now. Message me tomorrow.
Sure.
Or message me tonight maybe and I won't open it and then I'll see it tomorrow.
Yeah, you can answer anytime.
Yeah. Because this is a very serious issue because you could lock your account. Are you sure you're verified, by the way?
Yeah, so that's what happened. And at the beginning of this year, I was verified from last year and everything was active. Then I went to the verification process again.
But one second. When you said that at the beginning of the year you were verified, you mean that when you opened Nusuk up, it said verified, correct?
Yes. Then one day...
No, wait. And you didn't edit anything and you didn't submit anything. You saw that and you said, MashaAllah, I'm ready. صح كده?
Let me complete. So, I thought I'm ready. And then after a while, I found my password was reset. So I had to reset my password. And then I found the Nusuk sent me to the verification process again. I submitted my same documents, my same everything, and I got verified maybe like a week later.
Now.
So I was pending, then now I'm verified. But all the time, my e-wallet was active, but I was not able to put any money there. And I didn't try. After they said it's active right now, I didn't try to.
Wait a minute. You said that you wasn't able to. How did you know that you weren't able to?
I was going to the e-wallet and pressed the button to put funds, and it was telling me it's not active yet. It will be active soon.
And then when it became active 2 days ago,
I didn't try. I can try right now.
No. When it became active 2 days ago, you saw that it has 3 riyals in there.
I have been seeing that there is 3 riyals all the time.
Ah, really?
All the time I was seeing my e-wallet is active and 3 riyals are there, but I cannot do any top up. When I press top up, it was going like telling. But now when I press a top up right now, it gives me the wizard so I can put funds. Before it was telling me it's not active or the service is not active yet.
Understood. Don't do it. Don't touch it. Wait for instructions. And did you, when you saw in January when it said that you're verified, when you looked at it, did it say you look at your packages? Did you click on anything else? Packages and Keda?
Yeah, now I can see the packages. I can do the filtering.
At the beginning of January when you said
there was no packages. There was no packages. I started seeing packages 2 days ago or 3 days ago when they announced that it's ready.
That's fine. Khalas, just send me a message and I'm going to get confirmation, inshallah, okay? And by the way, did you not go last year or what happened last year?
I wasn't I didn't know about this all high demand and I missed it. I was not able to.
You only put in a little bit of money, but I understand. That's fine. Leave it with me, inshallah, okay?
Yeah, it was only 3 riyals, so I didn't bother, just to refund them.
Understood. Leave it with me.
Okay. Thank you so much. Jazakallah khairan.
Next up is Kaltoon Ahmed.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Thank you so much for answering all of our questions. I just had a question. Are you able to go through the estimated prices for the packages? I think you went through it earlier, but I think I may have disconnected. And then also the zones.
Check that on the recording. Yeah. So when the recording comes out in a couple of hours, you can then pause on that. Yeah. And also I actually did more prices in the first webinar. So they're the same prices. I added on 5-10% or whatever, and then we did it like that. Put it this way: we calculated. I want to say that the quad from London, it shouldn't be more than £2,300 or something like that. And we said that in 2 days we'll have the definite prices anyway. But if people now want to start doing the e-wallet according to my e-wallet instructions, which is very important to follow, then they can start now, but only according to my instructions, by speaking to the bank, blah, 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 and start putting in £5,000-6,000 getting ready.
Okay, Jazakallah.
Wayak.
We're at Anjum Pinjari.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
Thank you for accepting my question. I'm joining from Houston, Texas. I missed a lot of your session today. I just joined in for the Q&A. My question, I don't know if it's relevant for this session. My husband did the whole Nusuk registration and everything, but then he just got so frustrated with the app and he gave up. So he's passed it over to me. My question is very basic. So basically what I wanted to know is, so we have British passports, but we live in America on a green, and we have a green card. So would we be eligible for the British packages, or would we just be open to the US ones?
Both, but now it depends upon where you've been verified. Did you put in a US application, or did you do a British one?
I believe he did the US one, actually. How would you select that? Would you select that right at the beginning when you register?
Yeah, you'd select it right at the beginning, because what you would do is that you'd put in your US address, and you would put in that you are a resident in the USA. If he did the USA one, and he would have uploaded the green card. If he did that and was verified on that, then it means you are only allowed to take the American flight. If you want to do your British passport, then you're going to pay for the British flight, and you're going to have to take that flight, or you burn that flight and you get your own flight from the States.
Okay, so to go back to the British option, would we have to redo the registration?
Yes, you would have to redo.
I don't think that's advisable. Is there any big difference between the two countries' options?
No, not. Well, if you're going for this program, if you're going for our program, it's the same program anyway. So you'd stick to that. You stick to the American one. Definitely, you stick to the American one. 100%.
And the pricing is the same as well, I guess, right?
The pricing is not the same, no, because American flight is much more expensive to Saudi than.
Of course, yeah.
But it's the same for you, because you're not in UK, you're in the States. You have to get to the UK, isn't it? So it's definitely the cheaper option for you, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's just that I'd be dropping my kids off in the UK with my parents. So I was thinking now.
Then you should have definitely done a UK one. If you are going to the UK anyway, paying that money, dropping off the kids, definitely you should have done it from the UK. You know what? What I want you to do, Anjum, is to message me, okay? Message me. We're going to get you looked at to see whether it's possible to put in a... so is your husband going, or he's not going now?
No, he's going. He just found the process really frustrating. So
life is frustrating.
He just handed it over to me. He's like, I can't deal with this website. You just deal with it. So that's why I'm a bit, I'm not too familiar with the initial stages. So I'm just catching up.
Okay, you need to speak to him, obviously, and get clarity. Did you guys do it on your British passports or not? And once that's been cleared, if you've done it on the American one, then it is. You've got enough time, by the way, so you can take a risk. I don't think it's a massive risk. You could reapply again under British passports. I don't think it's a disaster. No.
No. Okay.
Just send a message.
Thank you so much.
And we'll look into it, inshallah. All right. Well, yeah, no problem.
Elias, have you gone? I'm not sure if Elias has gone yet.
No, I haven't. Assalamu alaikum.
Go ahead, brother.
4 quick questions. The pricing, the 2024 pricing matrix that you showed earlier, was that inclusive of the flights from 2024? Yes. Okay.
Flight taxes, yeah.
Jazakallah. And I think you touched upon it, but I think I may have missed it. What is the approximate walking time from the camp to the Mina tents?
From Basecamp to Mina tents? we haven't been able to do the physical walk, and the reason for that is because A, it's a brand new location, yeah, and B, when we went in December to do this walk, the army would not let us go into Mina hence.
Okay.
I think it will be about an hour.
Okay. Okay. Third question's about the flights from Toronto. I know that's still TBD, but when
Yes.
do you expect them to be finalized?
I have a feeling that could take some time. And I have a feeling that Al-Bayt will make the decision to not delay the uploading of the package, because one of the reasons why packages are delayed is because they don't have flights, and you've got to have a flight to upload it. Yeah. And so therefore, when they realize that, you know, the service providers like Turkish and Saudi are messing around, like which they are, then they put a dummy flight in, which is, you know, like the one that you've got in the sheet. And I would be telling you, and I mentioned this in a previous webinar as well, that you are not to rely and you are not to buy a domestic flight until you have heard from me that you buy your domestic flight.
That I remember, yes.
Yeah, because these flights on Nusuk sometimes are not the actual flights that you will be taking. And we don't want a disaster where you look at that and say, I know, and then you buy the wrong one. You know what I mean?
Well, got it. No, the good thing is flights from Toronto, we would not need another flight.
But for example, when it comes to time off, you might tell the people that I don't need the 23rd off. And I'm saying, don't say that. You might need the 23rd off.
Understood. Okay, last question. You spoke about room configurations a few times before, but there is something that's unclear to me. So we are a family of 6, 4 women and 2 males.
Yes.
And the system does allow me to pick a configuration to say, okay, because we have 4 females, so I can pick a 4, one quad or 4 beds for a quad and 2 beds for the 2 males in Medina, in Mecca. So it allows me to do that. But I think I've heard you, perhaps I misunderstood.
Like Muhammad Taha said, that on the system itself, it would suggest itself that it's allowing you to choose different configurations. And this was the same last year as well, 2024. Despite Nusuk making it very clear that when you're in one account, you can only buy one type of room.
Yeah.
And it suggests to you, the system, that you can buy, as you said, one quad space, one thingy. You can't. That's all I can tell you. You absolutely can't. And you absolutely need to be mentally ready for that. Because people didn't listen last year. Then, despite us telling them that they couldn't, but they said, we can, look. And then when they checked out and they paid for it, they saw that they didn't have what they thought that they'd bought.
Okay. So we might be
horrible system. Trust me, it's a horrible system.
Now,
is it possible that they have now upgraded system, whatever? It is possible. I think it would be very unlikely, because this would be such a fundamental change to the way that Nusuk has been operating the last 2 years, that they would be celebrating and singing this from the rooftops for months if they had done this. They have not mentioned it. It is as it was. Status quo is that you cannot do different type of room configurations within the same account. They keep saying if you want different rooms, you've got to separate the account into 6. Your family of 6 needs to go to 1 double, 1 triple, and 1 quad or whatever. And then that guy gets 1 quad and shares with 3 other people. The other 3 are together in a triple. The other 2, husband and wife, are in a cup. Then that's how you're meant to do it. That's how Nusuk keeps telling you to do it. And the system itself would suggest that you don't need to do that. You can choose those rooms within your family thingy. I can categorically tell you that you cannot. And until Nusuk, in these remaining 10, 12, 14 days, tells us that we have made an update to the system and you can, then this will be a massive development, and you will hear it from us straight away, because it will affect everybody massively. It changes everything. It changes strategy. It changes planning. It changes everything. It gives people so many.
I never knew this. So glad to hear this. So what happened to which room did the folks from last year end up with when they selected the combinations?
That they all got, I think it was quads or triples, but they all got the same room configuration.
Okay. So we might be just better off picking up triples then. Three
so
beds.
in your scenario, you would obviously put the woman in the room with the two males. Okay, that can be in there halal, and then the three other women separate. This is good strategy. You would request that from us. We would 99% be able to deliver that. Not be able to guarantee it, like Nusuk doesn't guarantee it, but that shouldn't be a problem. You guys getting 6 triples, basically. Yeah.
Inshallah. Okay, Jazakallah khairan. Thank you so much.
We have Dot. Sheikh, when do you want to end the Q&A? We're nearing on 3 hours and 46 minutes now.
That's crazy. I don't know. How many people have got their hands up? Everybody put your hands up if you want to ask a question right now. Put your hands up. How many are you seeing? I can only see Shazia. And and we've got Dot.
There's some existing ones in the queue that I've already approved. But yeah, it looks to me like Shazia is the only one. So maybe we'll make Shazia the last one. It doesn't seem like anybody else has any.
No,
so
me, I raised my hand. Minal Muhammad.
So we'll have Dot, then we'll have, we'll have Manal, and then we'll have Shazia. Go ahead, Dot.
Sheikh, first of all, Jazakallah khair for my previous questions. Just one more thing. You mentioned to me that the credit card is haram. So I accept that. But what if we top it up in advance and then pay for it? How would that be classified as haram? Because that's how I have used my credit card previously.
Haji, what's your name?
My name? Zuni.
Zuni, listen to me, which is not that much better than Dot, but it's okay. Zuni, listen to me. Don't open up doors that you don't want to leave open. Okay? We will discuss what you, after you pay for it, we'll speak about whether you should be having prepaid credit cards or not, whatever. Now it's all you have. Now it's what you're using. Now go ahead. By the way, even if it is haram, there are scholars that consider it to be halal. And number one. Number two, even if it is haram, it doesn't affect the Hajj at all. At all. What's haram about it, in my scholarly opinion, is the condition that you agree to when you've taken out the credit card. It is not something which affects the things that you buy with it. So don't worry about it, okay?
Okay, Jazakallah khair. I do have other options, and I will consider the options you have suggested. So I think I will go with those suggestions you have made, first of all.
I want to say that you should not consider those options unless you are completely going to trash your credit card. If you are not trashing your credit card, then you carry on using it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Manal, go ahead.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum. Jazakallah kull khair for your help in your time. I have a problem with wallet. She is active as everything, but I try put a big amount and put my credit card and all my information and show it me message and not try another time or call support customer. I call maybe some issue or problem from my credit card. I call customer service. He told me and everything is going through, but it doesn't accept it. I try different visa and send me code, and you already uses your visa in website. I say yes, but doesn't go through. Come in the same message. Call customer something wrong for
which country is this? Manal, which country are you in?
USA.
What's the credit card?
Are you connected to VPN by any chance? This was happening last year to people who were connected to VPN while making the payment.
Yes, and first time for me.
Do you know what a VPN is, Manal? Do you know what a VPN is?
No. I use MasterCard, and then I give notes for customer service, and I use big amount usage. She told me it's okay, and try it, but give me
the message, Manal, now.
Hmm?
Are you Danish? Are you able to? How does Telegram work? Can you message her?
You wanna read message with me?
No. The Danish.
Yeah, I'll message her. I'll message her, and then we can then support you. I know.
Can you message now? I'm saying.
Yes, I can. Yes.
You can. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Manal, so Danish is going to be in touch with you, and he's going to help you find a solution.
Thank you
inshallah.
so much. Thank
All
you.
right. No problem. I just want to.
I just messaged you, Sister Manal, so
Yes, thank you.
we can talk after this stream, inshallah.
Thank you so much. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu
So we're gonna have A as well. Okay, so A, and then we're gonna have Shazia Aman. Okay, so A, if you unmute yourself. A, 3 seconds.
I think A is gone, Sheikh.
He's there in my screen right there. But anyway, okay, that's fine. All right, Shazia, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm back. So I forgot to mention this. In Canada, there is a credit card. It's a Scotia Bank Infinite Visa Passport, which has no foreign transaction fee. It would be beneficial for the Canadians to look into it, because if you are spending, you are saving. If you are going like 2 people, you are saving $1,100.
Yes.
Just by saving on those fees. So my husband and I have opened an account, a credit card, and got it very quickly when we explained that this is the purpose we are getting this for. So I urge all the Canadians to look into it, please.
No, that's nice of you to say that. Jazakumullah khair. That's useful. Scotia Bank. Good job.
Yeah. And just my last question is, on behalf of my husband, when do you get out of Ihram? What do you need to do in the end to get out of Ihram? Is it the Qurbani, or is it the Hajj shave, or is it the Tawaf Ifada?
It will be the Jamarat and then the head shave. This will be sufficient because the Qurbani will happen at the same time anyway. So soon as we finish stoning, we're then going to go and then cut our hair, and the Qurbani itself will be happening at that same time. So it will be semantic. And it will be before Tawaf al-Ifada that we can come out. Whether you want to come out is something else, because some people, they prefer to carry on, and because it's hot and very sweaty and very dirty, they don't want to go to the haram in their clean clothes. So some people will maintain that. Others will be like, oh, I can't wait to get rid of this haram. And so this is why shifting is the best, because you can then go to your go to our base camp, go to our building, which is close, and then shower and get changed into nice, comfortable clothes. So yeah, this is one of the reasons why it's brilliant to have our own building.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, guys, I think we're going to call it. All right, I pretty much answered every single person who attempted.
I think, Sheikh, you missed Kelly. Kelly asked him.
Kelly, go ahead, Kelly.
Hey, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you. I was just wondering, is it too late to register? We just kind of got our plans together, and alhamdulillah.
No, it's not.
Assalamu alaikum. Chief, assalamu alaikum.
Excellent.
Chief, Kelly's messaged me. Tell her I'm going to message her back, inshallah. I'm just working through the messages, inshallah. Everyone's welcome to join now, but anything that's been asked on the help channel will be answered in the next hour or so, inshallah.
So Kelly, the answer to your question, Kelly, is that it's not too late. We're seeing some really quick verifications. As long as you are now swift and accurate in following instructions, then the message, the account that you messaged, Hajj with AE Help, is getting through a whole load of messages right now, and he will get back to you, and he will be telling you what to do. Follow those instructions, and you'll inshallah be verified, and then you can join from the States, inshallah.
Okay, shukran. Thank you.
Barakallahu feek. Thank you very much, Kelly.
Thank you.
And I think, Danish, if we are confirming.
I think that's it, Sheikh.
All right. Widad here, I'm terrified to touch it.
Widad is left. Sheikh, Widad has left.
Widad has left, but we're going to blame Tanweer if this messes up. I'm telling you now, if this recording doesn't happen, we are slaughtering Tanweer and eating.
Sheikh, it's recording. It'll be fine, inshallah. It'll be fine, inshallah.
Tanweer, your cheeks, I'm going to roast medium. Inside cheeks. Do you understand me, Tanweer? Yeah? You've already killed us in the first one. Do not touch a button.
I swear it wasn't me last time. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. Someone's not owning up.
You know what it is, yeah. You got thrown under the bus, bro. Right. I'm dead yet. I'm finished. Danish, do the honors.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much. Alaikum, folks. Subhanakallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.